Welcome inside Labatt Memorial Park, London Majors Baseball here on Majors TV.
Majors win! The Majors walk it up!
We're doing great. I feel amazing.
Hit well to left field. Going back. Do you believe it? He's hit it out. Marching towards third. Here's the relay from Hernandez. Not in time.
Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to beautiful Labatt Memorial Park, the home of the London Majors. It's a pleasure to be along with you here for this Friday night matchup between the visiting Guelph Royals and the London Majors. Now, the Guelph Royals enter this contest 13-10, 7-6 on the road. This is a team that started 0-5, but have dug themselves out of that early hole and now hold the last playoff spot in that number 5. See, this is a team that is not an overpowering team. They don't hit a lot of home runs, but they draw a lot of walks. They steal a lot of bases. They can put the ball in play. That is the key to a successful winning ball club. Now, for the London Majors, they're 17-8 so far this season, 10-2 at home. That's first in the CBL. They also own the number 1 seed in the CBL. A lot of first place, and it's awesome to see. They are coming off of a very convincing win over the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, and they've had consistency all around. 45 team home runs, a great pitching staff ERA at just over 4. It just keeps on going and going in. This is the end of the first half of the season before the All-Star break Sunday in Chatham. Without further ado, let's send it up to the gentleman who will get to call this game, Justin Koehler. Owen Taylor, it's all yours.
Thanks, Evan. Incredibly exciting that we're pretty much at the halfway point of this season, and a great way to get things going with right now the first place team and the fifth place team kind of sandwiching the playoff picture right now. Should be a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us for some Friday night baseball under the lights here at Labatt Memorial Park. You heard Evan mention it there. Justin Koehler, Owen Taylor up here for today's matchup. Thanks for tuning in. Owen, it should be a lot of fun. Two very different teams on paper, though, today.
Yeah, it should be a very interesting one today, and you see, as you mentioned, the 1 versus the 5 today. So both teams are in a playoff spot, trying to continue to move forward as we get into the second half of the season. And as Evan said during his little intro there, Guelph, who just has all the little things going for them. They're able to be very well-rounded as a team. As you look at the standings right there as well, they're able to do everything right. If they are able to do everything correctly, they're able to succeed. Well, you look at the London Majors lineup with how much momentum they've had throughout the entire season, as well as how just on fire every player has been for them so far. Look for them to try and keep their momentum going into this one. If they can get momentum early in the first couple of innings, you know they're going to be able to continue with that all the way through on. So it should be a very interesting one today.
You know, it doesn't feel like that long ago that we were talking about how the Majors at times felt like a small ball team, but they've really transitioned into an almost long ball heavy team. In comparison with Guelph, that's really sank and done well in that small ball mentality. You'll see that a lot in the run differential. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go on with today's broadcast, but it should make for a very different but a very fun performance today. Speaking of fun things coming up, it's All-Star Weekend in a little bit. It should be a lot of fun. I'm going to try and head out there tomorrow to see some of the action. But I, earlier in the season, had the chance to talk with one of our All-Stars for the Majors, who's going to have a great opportunity, a whole lot of fun in the home run contest. I had the chance to speak with Tucker Zadunic on this week's episode of Clubhouse Conversations. Also Zadunic, and in the box, that one driven deep towards left center. It's going back, and it is gone. A big display of power from Tucker Zadunic. It's hard to talk about this team and not talk about how solid and consistent this offense has been, both from just getting on base, hitting wise, but then also a couple of those power bats that we have on this squad as well. How has it been being one of the key contributors on that side of the game so far early on in the season?
Yeah, I've been fortunate. The guys that are surrounding me on the lineup, I don't have to do too much and just play free and swing free and kind of do my piece of the game. And yeah, there's been a few cases where I'm like, oh, I wish I did the job there. And then I'll look back 20 seconds later, Lenahan's hitting a home run or Eddie's hitting a big 2-out single or something like that. So
How has it been talking the game, kind of figuring out, okay, how are we going to shift? How have those conversations been amongst you guys as the outfield crew so far this season?
yeah, it's been really good. Got a lot of athletes on our team, so guys that maybe didn't play a whole lot of outfield until the last little while. So, and you got guys like Bernie and Babiak that have came to the outfield, and just chatting with them, giving them pointers, and they just learn on the fly, and they're just intelligent guys, so they pick up on it right away. We got a younger Ryder, and he's a really good athletic outfielder as well, and he's got a good arm on him. And
obviously, you're one of the vet guys on this squad. You played in when it was the Intercounty Baseball League, and now you're playing with the Canadian Baseball League. Obviously, for the fans at home, there's not a ton of differences that they would notice besides the level of play competition-wise. Have there been any stark differences that you've seen from last year, the IBL in 2025, to this year, the CBL in 2026?
yeah, I'd say just the depths of the lineups, just with more imports for each team, and kind of the growth of the game in Canada, like the quality of baseball players, like a lot of like local Canadian guys. I just think the lineups are really strong now. I've just noticed a difference between the pitching quality and some of the hitters. Like, it's a really good league, and it was a good league last year too, but it's definitely improved on that level.
It's been a ton of fun to watch. Not just me up in the booth. I know the fans at home have had a great time watching you guys, and can't wait to see how you guys do the rest of the way. So that's pretty much it.
Sweet.
So thank you very much. Appreciate talking with you. And welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. A really, really fun interview with Zadunic there. Really fun guy. One of the guys who jumped into this team with open arms when he came in last season, and has really just wowed us. Not just the fans, us in the booth, but also the teammates around him. Really, really fun guy on the field.
Yeah, he's also been a very big contributor to this team as well throughout the last couple of years he's been here, and just being able to talk to him every other day, and just seeing him at the ballpark. He's always kind of had that energy, I guess, especially in your interview. You saw the interesting points you had there. I haven't had a chance to listen to it just yet. However, I'm sure there are some very good points in there between you and Tucker Zadunic. So he's a very big part of this club, and he shows it every time he's here.
An incredibly calm presence, I would say, as well. Very, very easy to talk to, but very different, I would say, personality-wise from your Ryder Hancocks or Skylar Janice's. Very quiet, very eloquent guy. So really fun there. Speaking of more fun things here at the ballpark, it is you're going to see a whole lot of rainbows, a whole lot of pride flags, because it is our pride event here at Labatt Memorial Park. So we're going to see some different hats, some different attire on people like Forrest as well. Should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a really, really good treat, to say the least here. I'll give a big shout out in terms of the pride event to my father, John, my uncles, Trevor and Rob as well. Love you guys. You guys are amazing. But one of the multiple fun events that we get to have on a regular basis here at Labatt Memorial Park. Yeah,
we have so many events. This one is another big one. You have the parade coming up soon, I believe, as well. Sometime maybe this week, next week. It's weird to see. I don't see Forrest wearing rainbow today. That's something I was kind of hoping to see. He does have pink.
I like the pink. The
pink is a very good look with the purple shirt as well. I do like that look. However, no rainbow on him. However, everywhere else in the ballpark, at least on the concourse level, there you will see a little bit of that. It's always fun. The Pride Nights they're always exciting.
And here's, like we mentioned, you are going to see a lot of that representation on the hats, some of the uniform choices here for the majors today. And front and center is going to be Travis Keys on the mound today, leading the majors for this pitching matchup today. Should be a lot of fun. Numbers, realistically, fairly similar. You can see the records, the ERAs, not too far off from one another. And Travis Keys, what a guy to have on the mound today.
Yeah, and he had a very good performance last Friday, and he was kind of getting hit around his last couple of starts, especially the one against Hamilton 2 weeks ago. He gave up 7 runs in only 3 2/3 innings. Comes back last Friday, puts up 7 shutout innings against the Chatham Barnstormers. So he is definitely starting to get back into a role as we get to the second half of the season. And obviously, he is going to be a big part of this majors lineup. Look for him to try and do kind of the same thing last week. Just try and keep it in a rhythm here and really trust in his guys.
That's going to be the big thing. Still wanting to recover from that matchup 2 games ago, but he did it absolute lights out performance last Friday back here at Labatt Memorial Park. You saw Liam Watt's numbers as well. We'll go into some of those. His ERA, very impressive, been very strong with the Royals so far this season. And speaking of these matchups, these looks back and forth, Evan Fredrickson, our third man down on the field level, had a chance to talk with co-owner, general manager for the London Majors, Rup Chanderdat, about some of those specifics in this week's Rup's Report.
The London Majors, Rup Chanderdat. Rup, as always, thank you so much for doing this. I want to congratulate you and the group of guys you guys have going to the All-Star game. How exciting for you for Sunday?
First of all, thanks for acknowledging that. You know what? It's exciting. You know, I'm not going to take anything away from it. Anytime you get to represent your team, your city, an All-Star event, it's great. I'm glad lots of guys are going. But like I told the guys in the room, you know, it's not just me or the guys going. We need the whole team to do well for guys to get acknowledged. So it's a shout-out to our whole team. And, you know, we're appreciative of the opportunity.
Obviously, you've got one more game here this evening before that, and it's against the Guelph Royals, a team that can do a lot of things right. They can steal bags, they can take a walk, and you've got Travis Keys on the mound coming off of a really impressive outing. What are you hoping to see from him from that start to this start?
Well, you know, with Guelph, you just nailed it. You said everything. That's a well-rounded team, you know. They're one of the favorites to win this championship. So we got to come out and play mistake-free baseball, you know. And with Travis Keys, he just has to do what he does, and which is, you know, attack the zone, keep him off balance, and, you know, shove. And Travis does that every time. He gives us a good opportunity to win, and we're looking forward to him pitching tonight.
And finally, what are your keys for your offense going up against Liam Watt, a veteran left-hander who has had a really good season for the Royals this year?
You know what? We got to just stay disciplined. You know, when we're disciplined hitters, we do well. Score first, and then, like I said, the momentum will carry itself, and then we can open it up a bit. We play a certain brand of baseball. We're going to stick to that, and then, you know, hopefully that gets us a win.
Rup, as always, thanks so much, and good luck tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Make a bold statement with the Champ Chain, the ultimate award for champions. At 5 to 6 inches wide, this eye-catching metal is built to impress, fully customized with your logo and cut to shape. From the court to the boardroom, this award brings energy and attitude to every celebration. Great for recognizing your MVPs, players of the game, or hardest worker. Level up your recognition game with the Champ Chain. Order yours today at nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza. Using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice and a pop for just $5 or 2 for $9. Ellie's Pizzeria. Made local, made right.
Welcome back here to Labatt Memorial Park on what's turned into kind of a mixed day here in London, Ontario. Some clouds, some blue sky out there. A little bit mixed. We were a little bit nervous. We had a special weather statement here in town. We were nervous about a bit of rain, but looks like things should hold up for some Friday night baseball.
Yeah, hopefully everything should hold up here. It's still been very hot today. There was a little bit of rain earlier. However, that was only for like a couple of minutes, so hopefully it should clear up. The skies are looking pretty blue, so that is a good sign. However, no matter what, rain or shine, it's always a good day for baseball.
Oh, yeah, you sound like Rup Chanderdat there. That was almost what he says every time I see him out on the field before the game. Speaking of being on the field before, during, and after the game, let's give a quick little look at the umpiring crew that we have for today's matchup. Behind the plate, BJ Small is back there for today. At first base, Brian Munt. And then third base umpire and the crew chief for today is Justin Van Horn to round things out. So they'll be on all quarters of the infield for this one. And speaking of the infield, it's probably a good time for us to talk about the lineup. We'll start with the Guelph Royals, who are going to be out first in terms of getting to the bats, the away team for today. Owen, what can you tell us about the lineup for today?
Yeah, it's one of their usual lineups that, well, he will usually put out Garrett Takamatsu, who will be leading off, or he will be in the DH spot, followed by Anthony Gilbert out in short. Miguel Geraldo in the 3 spot. He will be the other middle infielder for Guelph, followed by Victor Mascai. over at first. Ted Gollert, who has only played 2 games so far for the Royals this season, he will be out in left with J.D. Williams out there as his center fielder. Davis Nadal will take over the hot corner for Guelph. He is batting in the 7th spot, followed by Matthew Ward, who will be Liam Watt's battery, followed by Andy Leader at that 9th spot.
And yeah, we've mentioned it a couple times, very consistent, almost small ball mentality, really, really good average numbers across this team in terms of how they're hitting. Their bat-to-ball skills are pretty exceptional. The power leaves a little bit to be desired, to say the least. So far this season, it's Miguel Geraldo who's leading with 5 home runs. So still pretty good numbers, but very good small ball mentality, to say the least. And so as we're getting closer and closer to first pitch in this one, we will take a brief moment in just a second as we get ready for the national anthem. We'll be back here with you in just a few minutes. Again, you're watching the Guelph Royals taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Please welcome Pregame to the field to perform our national anthem tonight. Craig is now a London-based guitarist, singer, songwriter, and the lead singer in the Blackboard Blues Band, and he's a member of London's own ska, reggae, soca band, the Party Chargers. Please welcome Craig.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glorified we see thee rise, the true, no strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Another beautiful national anthem here at Labatt Memorial Park. Been a really, really good season for national anthems. We've been treated to a nice mix so far here in the 2026 season. Again, if you're just joining us, we are getting closer and closer to game action between the Guelph Royals and the London Majors. Again, this is Justin Koehler up here in the booth with you, joined by Owen Taylor, Evan Fredrickson down on field level. We've been talking a lot about how fun this matchup is. Again, this is the first place team going up against the 5th place team, kind of sandwiching the playoff picture that we've been seeing right now. Obviously, playoff picture this year a lot different than it's been in past years. Oh, is that change one that you like? That reduction almost from an 8-team playoff picture to a 5, arguably 4-team playoff picture this season?
I do actually really enjoy the change, and it brings a more competitive aspect to it. Instead of 8 of the 9 teams coming in, you only have 5, with the 4 and 5 playing just the 1-game playoff to keep the top 4 in there. And it is a very, I do really like the move. It's a very fun one, I believe. It really brings a lot more excitement to the regular season as well. So as we move on towards that, it should be very exciting.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. It's that paired with the slightly lengthened season, up to 48 games this year. It makes the games almost more valuable day to day because you do have to grind a little bit more to get into those playoffs. But then with the extended length, I find that it's easier for teams who've maybe fallen out a little bit to inch and claw their way back in. A prime example is the team that the Majors are going up against today. That's the Guelph Royals. We'll talk about that, the tough start and the better go later on. But one guy who's looking to stop them, almost try and inch them further and further out of the playoff perspective, is Travis Keys on the mound today.
Yeah, and we've already talked about his numbers, just how good he has been this season. Although the little bump a couple weeks ago, he did really shine back last Friday. Look for him to try and do the same again against this Royals lineup. However, they do have a lot of players who are red hot over the last 5 games. You have Anthony Gilbert, who's batting almost 500, more than 500 in his last 5 games, as well as J.D. Williams, who's batting 421. So look for that. Look for Guelph to try and make an impact early. They know that Travis Keys is more of a contact guy as opposed to kind of using his stuff for strikeouts more. Look for them to try and get get to the contact early, try and get runners on bases, and try and be successful in that way.
We mentioned it last week. One of the big messages from Rup Chanderdat to Travis Keys before that game was to find that first pitch strike. That's the big difference between him being successful in the game and having a tougher time. So look for Keys to be doing that early on against these Royals batters, and we'll see if we get a taste of that right off the bat. We're going to be seeing Takamatsu, Gilbert, and Geraldo to start things off, the 1, 2, and 3 hitters for the Royals. And Travis Keys all set on the mound. First pitch a bit upstairs for ball 1.
Garrett Takamatsu, a better hitter against left-handed pitching as opposed to right-handed hitting. He's batting .500 this year against left-handed pitchers in his 24 at-bats.
So we'll see. Across the board, it is a good potential matchup for both of these teams to try and really get something going. Obviously, the Majors have been on a tear, especially in the home run column. Their runs generally have been pretty exceptional the past few games, and obviously the Royals have been doing pretty well themselves. For the last 10, I believe it's a little bit split right now, but they've been almost, I would argue, the best mental team so far. They started, I believe, 0-5 to get the year going and battled back all the way pretty much from last into a playoff spot here towards the middle of the season, and there's still plenty of baseball left to play. Keys gets set with a 1-2 count. That one's flared over towards left field, just in front of Adam Thuss in left. A little bit of lumber off the bat, but a nice bloop single to get the game going.
And just like that, just 4 pitches in, we saw exactly what we kind of expected Guelph to do early, try and get the swings in. If you see a pitch in the zone, you saw it right there with Garrett Takamatsu, even with the broken bat, still able to get that in the shallow left, and it is a good start here for the Royals.
I think Travis Keys might not be too happy. If that bat didn't break, that probably would have just flew out a little bit further over towards Adam Thuss in left, as that one's driven right up Main Street. Anthony Gilbert able to keep the hits going right now. Back-to-back hits for the Royals to get the game going here in the top of the first. So Takamatsu advances his way over to second. Gilbert now over on first. So quick, efficient stuff. It looks like they're going to be attacking the strike zone fairly hard. It sounds like, obviously, if we know up in the booth that Travis Keys is trying to go after a lot of first pitch strikes, keep things near the zone, trying to do some soft contact, obviously these Royals batters might have that mindset as well. We'll see if that continues as the game goes on. But Miguel Geraldo, the second baseman, good opportunity for him now with runners in scoring position. So that one's a bit outside for ball 1.
Yeah, Miguel Geraldo's had a very good season as well. He's batting .360 on the year. The power is there. He does lead the team in home runs with 5 home runs in his 33 hits.
So that one's grounded over towards the shortstop, Escato. Quick throw towards second. No attempt over towards first. Would have been a tough one. So the Majors will settle for the out over at second, but Takamatsu able to make his way over towards third. So a fielder's choice off the bat of Geraldo. Still runners on the corners.
Yeah, smart play there by Escato just to try and get one out here in the inning, as now you have a double play in order with Geraldo over at first. You want to try and keep the ball on the ground, try and keep Takamatsu on third base as long as you possibly can. So now Guelph is kind of in a good spot with the leading run just 90 feet away. However, London is as well, with Travis Keys on the mound here.
Pretty big at-bat right now, as that one's grounded foul down the first base side. Yeah, get ready for Keys to probably, more than likely, start attacking the lower part of the zone, probably with some sliders, especially with that left-handed batter in the box, trying to go down and away on him, try and get some soft contact to roll over into a double play. But yeah, the Royals just 90 feet separating them from their first run, the first lead of the ball game as well. So 1 out, 0-1 pitch. That one swung on. Fouled down the third base side. But a good mix so far, and Victor Mascai's numbers have been pretty solid so far in his season. 23 hits, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs. Pretty good numbers from him to get his season going. So count 0-2. Still 1 out here, top of the first. Keys will make the quick throw towards first. A quick one. That one might have been pretty tight, but Whittle over at first, not able to come up with it cleanly.
Looks like that one fooled everybody over there at first base. Whittle wasn't exactly ready for it. And again, going back to my point before, with the kind of advantage Keys has being a left-handed pitcher, Victor Moscaya isn't the best against left-handed pitching. He's only 8 for 30 on that tally and has not yet faced Travis Keys this season. So first time we've seen both of these players face off, and
still amazing that we're pretty much halfway through the season, just about to enter the All-Star break, and there's players who have not faced pitchers on some of these opposing teams. So in a lot of cases, these pitchers, these batters getting their first look, their first opportunities. As that one swung on and missed, strike 3. Travis Keys picks up his first strikeout of the game. So, of course, we were talking about the double play potential. Now it doesn't matter. The majors will just try and get out however they can. Love to strand these runners on. I'll bring up the right-handed bat of Tag Gollert.
As I was saying, there isn't really a bad spot you can be in if you're London with Travis Keys on the mound, with how pretty dominant he's been this season against it, and especially against a guy like Tag Gollert, who only has 2 hits in his 9 at-bats so far this season. 6 of those at-bats coming against left-handed pitching, and he only has 1 hit against lefties so far. So with 2 out, you do have 2 options for a force out here.
So that one swung on, fouled, well fouled down the first base side. And for those Majors fans out there, Tag Gollert might not be a name you recognize, was just picked up last week. I believe it was 8 days ago to the day today that he was picked up.
Last Thursday, I believe, yeah.
There we go. And, spent a lot of time in the NCAA down in the U.S. The Royals hoping to get some nice offensive potential out of him. He's playing left field for the Royals today. So no 2 count, 2 outs, top of the first. Keys getting set on the rubber. 0-2 pitch. Now grounded down the third base side. Lenahan picks it up, but not able to come up with it cleanly. So the Royals will cash in the first run of the ball game. We'll see how that ends up being ruled on the scorecard. Likely potentially an error for Lenahan, but a tough play no matter what for the third baseman to make, just with how kind of a funky pickup it was for him over on the left side.
Yeah, just took a bad hop on him and just kind of caught the heel of his glove. Obviously an unfortunate play that we've kind of seen throughout the year. It kind of happens to just about anybody playing baseball, and he's kind of shrug it off, move on to the next guy, J.D. Williams, who has also been pretty good this season. Should be a very interesting one. Now you have a force on all 3 bases. So you just got to keep the ball down and try and work from there.
Travis Key's been a specialist when it comes to soft contact this season. For the record, I do believe that was ruled as an error on the scorecard on Trent Lenahan. So an unearned run, but still a run nonetheless to get the Royals on the board. An 0-1 pitch. A bit up and away, even things at a 1-1 count.
Yeah, Williams is another guy that's kind of struggled against the left-handed pitching. He's 2 for 14 this season. One of those hits coming against Travis Keys.
1-1 pitch, a bit downstairs. That looked pretty close. That goes the batter's way. We saw Keys really start to come into his own last week when he was able to find the lower part of the zone, that lower line of the strike zone, and the outer part to some of these batters. That was when he really started to thrive. And the 2-1 pitch swung on, fouled back. Especially to the left-handed batters that he was facing. I believe I talked to him after the game, and he said once he figured out his slider, he was able to find the line, really started painting and dotting that low away corner to some of those left-handed batters, and he just kept going from there. Probably his best outing of the season.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the best pitches in baseball. A left-handed slider against a left-handed hitter. It at first looks like it's
a big swing and a miss there. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Travis Keys, but the Royals officially on the board.
Well, it's almost as beautiful against a right-handed hitter as well. You saw right there a nice slider that Keys really tries to keep down in that zone, gets it right down and in on J.D. Williams. And it's just such a good pitch that once you're able to command it in that kind of way, it's so dominant and it's so difficult to kind of come after.
It's tough. And Travis Keys has so many good pitches to choose from as well. But some good strikeout numbers from him to get the game going. The Majors will look to try and battle back, shift momentum back in their favor as we head into the bottom of the first. We get a good look at the lineup for today, Owen. Pretty usual from what we've been seeing with a lefty on the bump. A couple changes in terms of where people are in the lineup, but for the most part, the picture's pretty much what we've been seeing the past few weeks.
Yeah, it's just about what we've seen about every week against a left-handed pitcher. You'll see the 8 righties in the lineup. Moscato, Lenahani, Noah will be your top 3. Starling Joseph will be the cleanup hitter for today. Eduardo Diolio, who's kind of stuck in that 4 to 6 spot in the lineup, he will be 5 today as he is Travis Keys' battery behind the plate. Tucker Zadunic, who we talked about earlier today, he is over in right field with Adam Thuss right across from him over in left. Xavier Whittle will take his spot at first base, followed by Jarrett Burney out manning center field.
I think it's a really good lineup. What do you think of it top to bottom for what we're seeing today?
It is a very good lineup, as we've seen time in and time out, especially back on Tuesday against Chatham. That was a very good game in their 10-0 win against the Barnstormers. And when you have 9 All-Stars on a team, it's very hard not to look at the lineup and be amazed at the numbers you're seeing. You have 2 guys who are still batting .400 in Escato and Lenahan. You have Christian Noah, who's not far behind with a .380. Not to mention Michael Escato leads the league in hits and leads the league in homers. Trent Lenahan only following behind him, just 1 behind. So it's a very explosive lineup. That it's a lineup that can definitely get stuff going early on in this game, especially with your big 3 being your 1, 2, and 3 hitters in this lineup. So it should be interesting facing Liam Watt, who has not faced the majors yet this season.
Still some good stuff from him. His second season with the Royals, Watt on the mound. Not in a row, though. Played with the Royals back in 2023, now back here in 26. That season, played in just 3 games, a 9.82 ERA. Zascato takes that one, fouls that one off himself. There he'll take a quick little walk around home plate. But yeah, in 2026, Liam Watt doing considerably better. He's played in 6 games so far, started 4 of them, a 3.33 ERA on the year, 27 innings pitched. Some pretty good stuff. His strikeout numbers in particular have been pretty sharp. 18 strikeouts compared to 6 walks. So he's been really, really good at shutting these batters down. And speaking of which, Escato called out on strikes there, fouled off and caught behind the plate for the first out.
Yeah, not to mention with Liam Watt, he is only 22 years old. So back in that 2023 year when he only pitched 3 2/3 innings, he was about 19-20 in that. So he's only 22 now. To see the potential he has in this league and in leagues beyond wherever his future may be, it's very promising, I will say.
Very promising. A lot of potential so far this season for the London Majors. Some very, very impressive stuff that we've been seeing. You kind of mentioned it there, top to bottom. It's hard to really pick out an all-star when you can essentially field a team of all-stars that are going to the all-star game this weekend. One of those big names, obviously, the bat of Trent Lenahan. Some great contact numbers, some great power numbers on the season as well. Incredibly valuable for this Majors squad here in 2026. So 1 out now, bottom of the first, a 2-1 count on Lenahan. The usual first baseman manning third today. 2-1 pitch swung on, driven over towards left field. That one drops down for a hit, and the Majors are on the board in the hits column to get this one going. A nice little bloop single off the bat of Lenahan.
Yeah, one of your Majors All-Stars trying to get himself involved early. That is a nice little piece of hitting from Lenahan. Just a low and inside fastball he's able to get the hands inside on, and a good start here to the inning. After the 3-pitch strikeout on Escato, you're able to get right back at it with a base hit. And now Christian Yanoa, another guy who's just been red hot this season.
Been sharp, to say the least. An incredibly valuable pickup partway through the season for the Majors. Great defensively over at second. The bat really has been speaking for itself, to say the least, as well. So that one catches the plate, evening things at 1-1 with 1 out.
Yeah, and when you just look at when you have 5 of your 9 starters in a lineup being all-stars and going to Chatham this weekend, it's very hard not to be very excited about this, not to mention you have Payano and Tees going as well as Davidson, and who's the ninth? I think I'm losing it.
I lost track as you were saying them.
Interesting. Okay. All right. We'll find it eventually, but it'll come to my head soon. I know that.
Oh, and Zadunic, the guy that we talked to before in the clubhouse conversation.
Oh my
today.
God!
Zadunic, obviously.
I didn't even mention his name. Wow.
End of the alphabet with that one, so I understand it. 2-2 pitch coming in, swung on, grounded towards the shortstop, quick throw towards second. They'll make the turn over towards first for a double play to end the inning. So the Royals will lead as we push into towards the second. A 1-0 lead for them, out hitting the Majors 2-1 as well. We'll take a quick commercial break. We will be back in just a few moments. Again, you're watching the Guelph Royals taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza. Using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice and a pop for just $5, or 2 for $9. Ellie's Pizzeria, made local, made right.
So right off the bat, what's your least favorite food? Oh, you brought fish. Okay, I get that. What are some of your go-to foods that you love? Oh, more props. Great, wicked. Fruits and vegetables. Great pick. Incredibly important. I'm sure a lot of the London Majors will agree with you. I'm gonna have to have you clean that up, though. I'm not here to be a janitor.
We got this, united, step it up, keep on thriving, we trying, keep shining, living in a world where we colliding.
When we're together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
Shine on.
Hockey isn't a game, it's a legacy. VMF Sportswear builds custom pro-level jerseys, socks, and apparel, like team hoodies and workout wear. Your colors, your crest, your identity. Create yours now.
Memorial Park, the Guelph Royals leading in this one in the early goings, 1-0 against the London Majors. Thanks so much for joining us for some Friday night baseball here at Labatt Memorial Park. Decent crowd here today for the Pride game here for the Majors. You're going to see some different gear, some different stuff. Forrest, if you're seeing him around, I don't know where he is right now, but he's got a pretty bright get-up, to say the least. I absolutely love it. We were talking about the pink suspenders before the game.
Yeah, he could be absolutely anywhere right now, and we would have no idea. This guy goes, and he doesn't stop moving, as well as another thing. We didn't think we would have this kind of crowd. It was about 6:30. We saw only about 100 people here, and now we definitely have a very decent crowd here tonight.
Yeah, I was a little nervous. We had the special weather statement. There was some pretty ominous clouds in the sky at one point, but it really appeared to blow over. We thought that was going to lead to a potentially reduced crowd, but pretty good turnout. Better than we were expecting. Everyone was a little bit late to get here, today.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
So the Royals back up to bat in this one as Davis Nadal fouls that one back. Finds its way back on the field, though. Bounces off the grandstand back here. So Davis Nadal, Matthew Ward, and Andy Leader guaranteed to see those bats. Looking to add to their 1-0 lead. 2 hits back in the first. Travis Keys racked himself up a couple strikeouts in the first inning. Not usually a strikeout pitcher. We usually talk about how he gets a lot of soft contact, but a lot of contact at the very least because of it. So that one swung on and missed, making it a 1-2 count.
Yeah, he's really been working that fastball up a lot early in this one. Look for him to try and change it up a little bit here. Maybe the breaking ball down and away would be a really good pitch for him on this pitch. And a guy like Davis Nadal, who is actually pretty good on both sides of the plate. Has 10 hits in his 32 at-bats versus left-handers.
That one swung on and missed. Fouled back for strike 3. Third strikeout already for Travis Keys. So very, very different than what we're used to seeing from the left-hander, but good stuff from him so far.
Yeah, 3 of his 4 outs being strikeouts already in this one. That was a breaking ball down and away, as I kind of maybe recommend. Maybe he's listening in.
I'm convinced if there is anyone on this team who does listen in, it is Travis Keys. I'm almost convinced. There have been a couple games on the call where he likes to somehow either contradict or double down on things that we've said in the booth. It's I don't know what it is, what witchcraft Travis Keys is using out there, but it's always him for some reason. 1-1 pitch, just a bit outside to Matthew Ward, the right-handed hitter in the box. And for a bit of context on Keys' strike totals over his past 3 games, he had 5 strikeouts the last game, 4 the game before, and then 2 the game prior. That's usually what he sits around. So that one's driven high in the sky over towards left center. The left fielder, Adam Thuss, gets under it to make the out. So a quick 2 out now, top of the second. But so yeah, Keys not normally a strikeout guy. The highest that we've seen this season is 6 strikeouts. That was way back on May 22nd. So the fact that he's already up to 3 so far is very different than what we're used to seeing from Keys.
It is a little bit different. It's also a thing I kind of like to see out of him from here in this start. Again, not usually the strikeout guy, but when he can get those strikeouts, it is very big for you, no matter who is pitching on that day.
As Andy Leader fouls that one back, his first at-bat of the ball game. Took a look at his numbers on the screen just a moment ago. A .268 average on the season, but scuffling a bit as of late. 2 for 15 over his last 5 games. That's a .133 average, so we'd love to improve those numbers as we head into the halfway break of the season. He fouls that one over towards the first base side, but it goes out of play into the stands. A souvenir for one of the fans here at the ballpark.
Another thing we kind of need to look at here as well is this Guelph Royals lineup is also a very good one. 4 of these 9 in this starting lineup are all-stars for this weekend. 2 of them starting in Anthony Gilbert and Miguel Geraldo. They'll start for the north side in the middle infield, not to mention Garrett Takamatsu, Victor Maskai, Andrew Case, and Liam Watt are all all-stars for them. So it's, again, a very well-rounded team, as we've said already. It's also, you're able to kind of compare these two a little bit with the kind of talent they have and the different ways they're able to use that talent.
You know, I think especially the starters for this year's All-Star game immediately show how not every All-Star is the same. They come in all different shapes and forms. That's the difference between good hitters, great hitters, but there's so many different mixes of them, whether that be some contact guys, as that one looked pretty close to the corner of the zone. We'll go the batter's way here. The crowd not too happy with the call. But as I was saying, a very different makeup between great pitchers. You can have one who's an absolute slugger over at the All-Star game, a guy like Lenahan, Zadunic kind of come to mind for the majors. But then you can also have those really good contact guys. So that one's another one, a rocket up into the sky over towards left field. It looks like Adam Thuss is going to call off the shortstop Escato to make the play. We'll check in with each other for the third out.
Good communication on that play. That could have ended a little ugly. Thankfully, Adam Thuss is able to take charge on that ball. That was a very good comeback inning from Travis Keys right there, getting the 1-2-3. And now as we look at who's due up in the order, 4, 5, 6, in Starling Joseph, Eduardo Diolio, and Tucker Zadunic, 2 of 3, who are all-stars. One of them, Starling Joseph, could have been an all-star as well. He was in that last man in vote. Unfortunately, was not able to get in, as he's had a very strong season as well. Not as it's hard not to say that about all these guys, but he has been really strong. He took last year off. He's come back this year better than ever. He has been lights out, a 300 average. He's got 4 home runs, 20 RBIs on the season. He's played almost every game for the majors so far this year. So look for him to kind of continue that here today, leading into the next couple of weeks. And it's kind of the same thing with Eduardo Diolio as well. He was able to get his first home run in a couple of months just back on Tuesday. It was a pretty good one as well against the Barnstormers. So he is kind of getting back into his form. He has the contact. We knew that all season long. He's bringing the power back in. Not to mention his lefty-righty splits are also really good as well. Hasn't really faced a lot of left-handed pitching. Only 22 at-bats this season. He does have 10 hits in those 22 at-bats, however. So good matchups here for the bottom of the second for London. Look for Liam Watt to try to continue his pretty quality start.
Yeah, good effort from him so far. And yeah, like you mentioned, these first two batters that we're going to see in Joseph and Diolio, really good numbers against lefties. We'd love to see if they can turn the momentum on, get that first run of the ball game on the board and try and tie things up. Joseph will be the leadoff guy to try and get it this inning as that one swung on fouled back. Yeah, you kind of mentioned it at the start of those points there, how there are a few things that the majors have really just fallen into the rhythm of, which means that you're going to hear it a lot from us across the season. I think the word versatile has been used left, right, and center this season in terms of the descriptors, how this team is made up, as that one's well hit deep towards center field. Center fielder going back, but it is over the fence. What a way to tie up the ball game. A deep bomb off the bat of Starling Joseph.
As we said, he has really been hot this season. Continuing that right here. That's home run number 5 for him. Tying this game up.
Impressive stuff. I believe I said it in his walk-off hit a few weeks ago. It's a man who loves to be in the spotlight, loves that attention, and loves to make the most of it when he can get it. A fan favorite for a reason, and what a way to tie up this game. Shift momentum back in the majors' favor early on to the deepest part of this ballpark. 402 feet to dead center, and that was almost as close as you could get.
Yeah, and you don't really see a lot of those here at the ballpark. And
that one's grounded towards the shortstop. Routine throw over towards first, so Diolio grounds out.
Yeah, you don't exactly see balls going dead center. I saw Michael Escato hit one during batting practice earlier, but you don't exactly see them during the games. To be able to see that and just how much strength Starling Joseph has, not only the strength, but you see him in batting practice working on kind of a more fluid swing as he tries to come through the zone. It's really been working out for him, as you saw right there. So
it's a point I'm going to talk to him after the game about, as Tucker Zadunic in the box, the power-hitting lefty. Because one thing that I was talking to Starling Joseph about pretty early on, I think in the first few weeks of this season during one of his batting practices, was how he loves hitting to center, and he went so far as say, center field is my house. That's my home out there. And I think it was that same game he hit one to the warning track, not quite getting over the wall. And I wanted to razz him about that game. It's like, well, it looks like he got pretty close to home, but not quite. But so I know he absolutely loves hitting to that part of the ballpark. Almost a little bit of a flex for him to hit it that far to deep center. So going to have to chat with him about that after the game. Zadunic's now at a 2-1 count. Still one out, bottom of the second.
Well, I mean, like, we knew he had that power. I mean, you see him hit some over the trees and onto the bridge over there out and left.
So that one looks like it clipped Zadunic. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of contention from Watt on the mound. Not too much, though. Might have been checking to see if that was a swing and fouled off the bat, but it looks like no contention there. Looks like it just glanced off Zadunic. No real damage done, but he'll trot his way over towards first. So hit by pitch there.
It's been a very productive start to the inning for the majors. You go down 1-2-3, even with the base hit back in the first. And now coming into this one, you have 2 of your first 3 getting on base technically. Obviously, the Starling Joseph home run. He wasn't on the bases for a long time. But We count it as he did get on.
Zadunic darts his way over towards second. A late break, though, and he's caught stealing over at the second base bag. Good try, but like I mentioned, it's tough sometimes to get these stolen bases when there's a lefty on the mound. It looked like Zadunic had a pretty late break over towards second and just didn't go his way. So suddenly 2 outs now in the inning.
Yeah, and that's what you kind of see a lot from left-handed pitchers. They kind of keep an eye on you until they're about halfway through their motion. And
thus grounds over towards the third baseman. Long throw, but a routine throw over towards first, and that'll do it. So the Majors' first earned run of the ball game, but second run total to tie things up against the Royals. 1-1, each team tied at 2 hits apiece. And with that, we will take a quick break. Again, you're watching the Guelph Royals taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Get ready, Chatham-Kent. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham-Kent, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas you can't see, smell, or taste.
Homes with fuel-burning appliances and/or attached garages must have working CO alarms installed on every level of the home.
Install working CO alarms today.
It's the law.
Get ready, Chad.
And we're back here at Labatt Memorial Park. A tie ball game as we enter the third inning. 1-1 the score between the Guelph Royals and the London Majors. Thanks so much for tuning in for some Friday night baseball. Justin Koehler up here in the booth with you, joined by Owen Taylor. Evan Fredrickson down on field level to round things out here. A good ball game so far, pretty even, all things said and done between the two teams. But again, we're already seeing the differences that we were talking about in terms of small ball mentality versus long ball mentality that these two teams have kind of settled in as we get towards the halfway stretch.
Yeah, you're able to kind of see the differences in these two teams, able to compare them in a way. You had Guelph's hot start to this ball game, the 2 base hits early on with your 1 and 2 hitters, and then trying to just kind of using your small ball ability, get the runner around. And you see London's kind of approach of just this big, heavy, just try and get everything out of the park a little bit, almost. They do still obviously use that small ball hit and run kind of thing.
As Takamatsu flies that one over towards left. Close call, and that one gets down. A miscommunication over in left center between Bernie and Thuss out there. And suddenly that's a base hit to get things going, but tough thing to see over in left center. Not the first time that we've seen some miscommunication here in the league, but a tough one, especially when you're in a tie ball game at this point in the season.
Yeah, it is a rough one, just trying to get the communication between you two. It's really hard to kind of determine whose ball that is. They are going to rule that an error, so already 2 errors in this ball game for the Majors, and Takamatsu gets on for a second straight time.
So 2 errors already on the Majors in this one. We saw the error on Trent Lenahan back in the first, so that makes it one unearned run, in the ball game for the Royals. 1-0 pitch drilled deep towards center, a liner out to Jarrett Burney. So sharply hit, good power behind it, but tough spot on the field, not the result he wanted for Anthony Gilbert.
And that's the thing that's so tough about Travis Keys. He's able to kind of use the very bottom of the zone so perfectly that it's hard to get a ball up and elevated into the air, as you saw right there, the little line out right to center, what should be 2 out, is only 1 out, a man on first. You are still in a good spot here with Takamatsu only on first base.
Geraldo would like to shift momentum back as he drills that one high and deep towards center, but not quite far enough as Bernie makes the play out there. So plenty of action for the Majors center fielder as we're now at 2 out in the inning.
Another thing there, even if you are able to get a ball in the air, it's got so much spin on it with his breaking ball right there that's it's difficult to kind of get distance on it as well, not to mention the exact launch angle on it. You saw that's kind of back-to-back right there from Travis Tees, giving you an example of that.
Yeah, I think we almost saw the 2 different results when a batter is able to make pretty good contact in different ways in the box. You almost get that kind of golf swing approach in a way that kind of lifts it and makes it a fly out over towards center field, or if they almost come down on it but a little too early, it almost makes it a liner to deep center, and then you get that result that we saw for the first out. In any case, Travis Keys will be happy with the results so far, as that one swung on and missed. Nice off-speed pitch to keep the batter on his toes. Victor Mascai in the box. So again, that's Takamatsu over at first. Got on via an error. Still a 1-1 ball game. 0-2 count with 2 out. A little check swing foul down the third base side. It's like Mascai a little undecided on what he wanted to do with that pitch.
Just a nice little tap down the line. That was.
Hey, if that one was a little bit, I guess, straighter in the field, that actually might not have been a bad kind of swing and bunt there in a way. Pretty soft, didn't go too far, and went in a straight line from when it was hit, but Majors will be happy it went foul. So still an 0-2 count. 2 outs here, top of the third. That one high and inside. It does look like we are seeing Keys flirt a lot more with the top part of the strike zone, a little bit different than we've seen in previous games. I almost think it's because he still hasn't quite found the lower portion of the strike zone. He hasn't found that exact line that we saw him find pretty quick last week, so I think to compensate, he's trying to get the odd pitch up in the zone. As that one pretty close on the outer part of the plate. But again, goes the batter's favor.
Yeah, and that's just kind of something you'll see throughout the year from Travis Tees. Last year, with how good he was really able to get that bottom part of the zone so much that he was just almost always kind of sitting there. As this season progresses, with the kind of adjustments these players are able to make now and how much talent is in this league, you kind of have to change up your approach in a way, and I kind of like the way Travis Tees has done that, really getting the slider in there more, kind of down and away, down and in, into that right-handed batter's box, followed with the fastball there.
2-2 pitch. Grounded right towards Whittle at first. He'll do it all by himself to get that third strike, so still pretty efficient so far. Yeah, like you were mentioning, I'd love to talk to Keys about his approach in this game versus the last one. We have seen a really good mix of some fastballs, some off-speed, some breaking pitches as well. It's a little bit different. We saw a lot of breaking pitches and a lot of fastballs last week. So he's trying to incorporate some of those off-speed pitches a little bit more, which I kind of like seeing. And I want to see if that was an approach that he's intentionally making in this game to keep things fresh. But speaking of keeping things fresh, we'll take a brief look down to our third man on the call, Evan Fredrickson, down on field level. Evan, what do you got for us today?
Gentlemen, thank you very much. The London Majors during this first half of the season have done very well against left-handed pitching. Now, that's not despite what they've done throughout the season, but I want to highlight a few guys who have really stood out to me when it comes to hitting left-handed pitching. I'll start off with fan favorite Eduardo Diolio, batting over 450 with an OPS plus of 103. And then the on-base machine, Christian Yanoa. My goodness, this guy is just ridiculous. Batting over 450 as well. That OPS plus is at 136. And then Starling Joseph, he's already got a home run today, a moon bomb to center field. He's batting over 350 against lefties with that OPS plus at 97. But the question is, can the Majors get more consistency and can they continue this momentum and claim a first place in the CBL? Guys.
Evan, thanks for those details there. Yeah, consistency always the key factor in what is the make or break of a successful ball club. Yeah, you can hit homers. Yeah, you can play some good small ball. You can have some good defense. But if you're not consistent on almost all of those categories in some way, shape, or form, you're not going to make it very far in the CBL season.
No, you're not. And we kind of saw that a little bit last year with the London Majors, to kind of either the injuries or the kind of inconsistencies out on the field. It was a little difficult throughout the year. They ended up finishing third, got swept by these Guelph Royals in the first round last year. This year is a much different team. You can kind of see they've been consistent so far through the first half. Now it's going to be the difficult part of trying to keep that going with the lineup you have now, as you have. This is game 21 on the year. You have 27 more after this, so it's definitely going to be interesting the kind of way they maneuver their team, how Rup Chanderdat kind of builds the lineups between games. So it should be exciting to see the way they're able to kind of maneuver their way into the postseason. Oh, what do you think?
I think you're exactly right, and I think with how the season has gone so far for the majors, they got to capitalize where they can. As Xavier Whittle in the box, a 2-1 count on him. Yeah, I talked to Rup Chanderdat a couple weeks ago. That one's drilled over towards right. Right fielder leader going back, and that one, another solo shot here in this one. Xavier Whittle making a nice trek around the bases, showing his power. His first home run this season as well.
And a beautiful one at that. You see how fired up he is for his first CBL home run. You're able to talk to him every game. This is what he's been waiting for right here. A pitch that he's able to drive up in the air. You saw it right there. There was a fastball kind of out the outer half of the zone that he's just able to drive the other way, and showing the power that he does have. Obviously, he wasn't an everyday player throughout about the first quarter of the year. He's really starting to show it now as he's getting more consistent playing time, and now able to show the power on that as well. It's exciting.
As Jared Burney grounds that one down the first base side. A tight play over at first, but Royals get him in time for the first out. Yeah, I can guarantee that Majors dugout was probably the loudest it's been all season. Xavier Whittle, incredibly fun guy to talk to. Sometimes on the field, you may not see it, but in that instance, rounding the bases, you definitely saw some of the passion that could come from him, and I know a lot of the other guys in the clubhouse are really itching for him to get that first home run, so I know he's happy. The clubhouse as a whole will be happy, and Majors now have a 2-1 lead to show for it. And just as quickly, that one's hit well high, well deep over towards right center, but right on the warning track. Williams able to track it down and get to it. Escato trying to follow up that solo shot with another one of his own, but just a few feet away from the fence for the second out.
Yeah, almost saw a third homer already. Michael Escato, who really can't stop hitting home runs as of late. He has hit, was it 4 in the last couple of games now? It's been real special to see what his power's been able to kind of produce for him. Almost another one, almost in the same spot as Starling Joseph's as well.
I guarantee there are people in this league who are saying, you know what, that's not fair. You can lead the hits column, you can lead the home runs, you can't lead both. That's not allowed. Stop it. But of course the Majors will take it any way they can. But you follow up power with power, and Trent Lenahan, who's back in the box once again. Swing and a miss there, make it an 0-2 count. And, you know, going back to that Whittle home run, one thing I talked to Rup Chanderdat about is just how clutch these guys have been, especially coming off the bench when they are called upon. We've been seeing it pretty regularly in bats like Babiak, like Whittle. That one's flown deep towards right, but drifting foul. Guys like Hancock, guys like Thus, who have now worked their way into some relatively consistent starting lineup spots. everyone is coming in clutch when they need to and when they are called upon, and everyone is fitting into the roles that they have to make this team as good as possible. I know that's something that comes with having pretty few injuries on a season as a whole, knock on wood. That one fouled back. And which you kind of mentioned it a bit earlier is very drastically different than what the Majors saw last season, where it seemed almost at times that as soon as someone came off the injured list, another guy was right back on it, and it was just tough to get consistency, tough to get momentum. So I know Rup is incredibly happy to have the roster that he has at this point in the season to keep things going and also keep things fresh by being able to swap guys in and out when he can and give guys like Whittle an opportunity like he just had. That one's called strike on the inner part of the plate. So another strikeout wraps up the inning, but another big loud bomb off the bat of Xavier Whittle puts the Majors in front 2-1. Now out hitting the Royals 3-2 as well. Still plenty of baseball action left here for some Friday night ball at Labatt Memorial Park, but we will be back in just a few moments. Again, you're watching the Guelph Royals taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Pregame Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The All-Star weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Canada's ball teams deserve uniforms built to win. VMF Sportswear delivers custom jerseys, pants, and caps. Level up your look with custom team apparel. Choose your colors. Drop your logo. Own your look. Order now at vmfsportswear.ca.
Obviously, the city loves you. The city adores you. You're a fan favorite across the board. How is it dealing with that much pressure, being in that celebrity spotlight everywhere you go? Perfect. That's good enough. How do you stay so fit and lean on a regular basis? Nice. I like that. Running's very important. Cardio. I'm not confident on what that is. Oh, yeah, there you go. I can appreciate that one, 100%. And I guess last personal tip, everything aside, how do you keep the beard so nice and well shaved consistently? I can never seem to get as good a one as you. Like, are you talking like a cream or an oil, something like that? Okay, perfect. I incredibly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking with me today. Excited for the season, huh? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And we're back here at Labatt Memorial Park. All those kids just ran the bases. That's a nice hat. I wish we had those up here. Where's the suggestion box for hats that we can get up here as we get a replay of those kids running around the bases? Look at the speed. Pretty wicked, and I know Dylan Baker's not with us today. I would love to see how true they are. Oh, for the most part, ooh, a tough fall there. Looks like he took it like a champ, though, right back up. Able to finish the race. I know Dylan would have been happy to at least see a few of those kids actually touching the bases. He's mentioned it before, the integrity of running the bases as a kid. I'm sure he'd appreciate hearing that. But again, another fun activity here at Labatt Memorial Park. Obviously, we love having you here tuning in to join us on the broadcast, whether that be on CBL TV or on Majors TV, but always fun to get down here to the ballpark at some point in beautiful London, Ontario, and it's really turned into a pretty beautiful night. Again, we were a bit nervous early on for some weather concerns, a special weather statement. I think it was calling for funnel clouds at one point, so it's cleared up pretty well. Some blue sky off in the distance, and beautiful skies and a beautiful ball game so far, particularly for the Majors. When it comes to the long ball, Starling Joseph and Xavier Whittle, some deep shots, flexing the power early on. Some solo shots, though, so still a fairly close ball game, 2-1. Majors out hitting the Royals 3-2, but also have 2 errors in the ball game so far. Now one Royals run unearned, off an error earlier on. But still pretty close, pretty tight between these two ball clubs. Both in the playoff pictures so far. We talked a little bit earlier about how it's reduced compared to previous seasons. 5 teams getting in. First pitch from Keys. Drilled high and deep to left, but just not far enough. Adam thus able to square it up, put that one away for the first out. It was Tag Goller. His second at-bat was 0 for 1 with an got on via the error in the first, so he'll fly out to left. That'll bring up J.D. Williams. Guaranteed to see him and Davis Nadal in this one. Williams 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and that was back in the first, the last out of the first inning. Travis Keyes got hit around a little bit to kick off the game, but has really settled down since as Davis squares off to bunt. Keyes not able to come up with it cleanly. J.D. Williams able to get on via the bunt. Tough play to make, especially when you know that you have to make that play over at first, but it goes more towards the third base side. You're wanting to get to it quick, but also wanting to make the turn. There's a lot to think about on a play like that for a pitcher. I will always say it's one of the toughest defensive positions to play in a ball game, but good effort, good headspace there from J.D. Williams, known to square up, bunt, get another base runner on. And that'll bring up the bat of Davis Nadal.
It's always kind of a tricky play, moving to your right, having to throw over to your left. They will rule it as a base hit, even though it was a base hit. There was nothing that Keyes could have done to kind of change that outcome. So Williams will get the infield single there.
Looks like we're going to have a play over at second. That one gets past Escato over at short, drifts in towards center field, so stolen base will turn into a runner over at third. J.D. Williams flexing the speed right there. That throw from Giolio, it's a little offline, a bit too far on the second base side, just out of reach of Escato over there. So just as quickly as it became a 2-1 ball game, the Royals doing everything they can to try and tie things up once again. Tying run now 90 feet away.
We've brought the entire infield into the grass.
Yeah, that is almost, I think, the tightest I have seen this Majors infield all season so far. Everyone touching that infield grass. And that one swung on, driven over towards right, but just a few feet to the right of the foul line. That would have almost been an incredibly clutch hit. This Majors infield still very, very shallow.
Yeah, it would have been a big one for Davis Nadal. Struck out his first time up back in the second inning. Just trying to tie this game up here.
So it looks like if anything happens, they're going to eye up the runner at third, probably try to make a play at home, all things considered. They would love to keep this a 2-1 ball game. I assume that's the play with how far in this infield is. 1-2 count, not likely to bunt in this scenario. So I think their entire mindset is make the play at home if we can. No force, though, so they'll probably eye the runner down and get the out where they can afterwards. So that one's fouled back. But a very interesting play. I don't think I've seen the Majors do this big of a shift defensively inward almost all season long. Very, very interesting. We'll see if it pays off or not. I think if you're the Majors, you don't lose a lot in terms of doing something like this, but you do cut back a little bit on the reaction time if there's a liner towards some of these infielders. So 1 out, a 1-2 count. Keyes set on the mound. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for the strikeout. For Keyes, that's his 4th of the ball game. Struck out batters in 3 innings so far. And suddenly the infield defense will make their way back now with 2 outs. They'll just get the out at first wherever they can now. But yeah, that was very interesting to see.
Yeah, it's something we haven't really seen at all this season. Usually with just a guy on third, they'll come in a couple steps almost to about the baseline. Almost, at least the corner infielders were. Lenahan and Whittle would be those two on that play. However, seeing all 4 come right into the infield grass is definitely something we haven't seen from Rup Chanderdat at all in his kind of game plans. Although with the speed of J.D. Williams, which we saw on his stolen base attempt, it's always going to be tough on plays like that.
First pitch to Matthew Ward. Looked like a curveball that went down out of the zone for ball 1. Next one they'll Appeal to swing over towards first. That rule he went around. First base umpire Brian Munt over there. So Matthew Ward 0 for 1. Flew out to left back in the second inning. The Royals still itching to tie things up. Again, that's J.D. Williams over on third. Got on with the single, stole second, and then was able to make it to third on a bit of an off throw from Eduardo Diolio.
Diolio kind of maybe trying to get himself ready for tomorrow with the skills competition going on. He's in the throwing accuracy, one of 4 in that competition.
That one will be a lot of fun to watch, I can almost guarantee.
You said you're going to try and go down to watch that? Okay.
I am going to try my best. My schedule can be a little bit tight, but I'm going to try my best as that one's grounded over towards Escadawa. It's short. Routine throw over towards first, so bit of a dangerous situation, but the Major is able to shut things down, still keep it a 2-1 ball game. And yeah, we just mentioned it there, but a big weekend, obviously, All-Star weekend coming up. A lot of the more activities tomorrow, followed by the All-Star game itself on Sunday. But yeah, I am going to try and make my way down. I haven't been able to, just scheduling-wise, with work and all that the past couple seasons, so I'd love to make the trip down, say hey to a bunch of the players, a bunch of the broadcasters, a bunch of the fans there as well. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
It's nice that it's closer. Obviously Hamilton last year isn't as far. However, it's only about a 30-minute drive to Chatham, or maybe an hour, maybe more like 45 minutes to an hour to Chatham. It should be interesting to see it there. Obviously, the newest team, kind of in the league of these 9. It's gonna be exciting. I haven't been to Chatham yet at all, so I will be down there on Sunday. That should be a fun one.
And I'm in the same boat. It would actually be my first time over at the ballpark there as well. So I'm just itching to go out. Obviously, scheduling, work-wise, it's tough for us to ever really travel with the team to some of these games, but always try when we can. Obviously, I work in Kitchener-Waterloo, so I've been to Jack Couch a few times. Been, to Labatt Memorial Park in London, Ontario, here and there, I would say, over the past few seasons.
No, I wouldn't have known that.
But plenty of great ballparks and plenty of different, I would say, personalities for all the ballparks across the league as well. Some smaller ones. Obviously, the Majors have arguably one of the larger ones across the CBL. Kind of caters to some of the teams. I was talking to Rup Chanderdat before the game, and he said, how different the numbers would be on the analytics side if the Majors hit in a different ballpark.
Yes.
But I think there are some pros and cons in hitting with a larger ballpark. I think the pitchers really benefit from something like this, and I think when the Majors batters are able to get a home run here at home, it just doubles down and instills their confidence when they're on the road as well. If you can hit one here, you can really hit one pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, and obviously with this being one of the bigger ones, if not the biggest, it should be. It's always interesting to see how they're able to hit at a Jack House Park, a Christie Pitts, a Ferdy Jenkins Field, which Ferdy Jenkins will be the only other CBL stadium I've ever been at. I've only ever been here to Labatt, so it should definitely be interesting kind of looking at the dimensions of it and kind of comparing it to this.
What I'm learning is you and I need to travel out a bit more.
I do.
That's what I think I'm figuring out here.
I do, yes.
So Christian Inoa in the box, the right-handed batter, grounded into a double play back in the first. He'd love to improve things here now that we're shifting into the bottom of the fourth. So that one swung on, drilled, finds the gap between short and third in towards left. So a base hit to get the inning going for Christian Inoa.
So it's been kind of a good start for both sides. You've had the consistency there with your hits. Obviously, you haven't not the kind of production you kind of want to see from either side. Obviously, it is more low scoring. It is only the fourth inning, to be fair. And Majors have about a hit per inning at this rate currently, so it is very productive so far. Maybe try and get a little bit more going, try and get momentum, guys on the base paths. It's going to be hard to get this guy on the bases with the way he's been swinging the bat.
For those just joining us, Starling Joseph hit a big, loud solo shot to deep center back in his first at-bat in the second. Tied things in the ball game for the Majors. But been a fun one so far. I think both teams, kind of like you mentioned, are itching for a rally at some point. We haven't really seen any team go off in either direction, get consistent back-to-back-to-back runs as Noah darts his way over towards second. Dives in, but well behind the throw. Second attempt for the Majors, and second time caught stealing on the pass as well. It looks like Starling Joseph is having a conversation with the home plate umpire on what happened. He might be arguing that he might have gotten hit by the pitch, which might have done something to the throw. But there's a bit of a conversation back there between Joseph and the home plate umpire, BJ Small. But in any case, the Majors caught out on the base paths for the second time today.
Yeah, Christian Noah was also a little confused on his way back to the dugout. He kind of had his hands up, looking back at BJ Small, thinking, what happened on that one?
That one's a called strike on the inner part of the plate. Again, Joseph doesn't look too pleased in the box. Count now 1-2 with one out now in the bottom of the fourth. 1-2 pitch. Bit upstairs. I do like the pitch mix that we've been seeing from Liam Watt so far in terms of moving around. Almost a bit more verticality to it. A few pitches up in the zone, followed by a few pitches down, but also mixing in the horizontal movement as well. We've seen a lot of pitches right inside, trying to find that inner part of the plate to some of these right-handed batters. So that one swung on. Foul back, though. And I think he's really been thriving on the inner part of the plate to a lot of these batters so far.
Yeah, when you were able to have control of the entire strike zone, you kind of find the spot you want to attack. If you know you can get that spot, you can kind of sit there until the other team adjusts, and you already know you have the control. You can kind of maneuver your way around.
As Joseph drills that one, a liner, but well foul down the left side. But yeah, great point there. It gives you a lot of freedom as a pitcher, and that you can realistically throw almost any first pitch that you want and then kind of operate from there. If you throw a fastball upstairs, you can try and go a little bit higher to get the swing and miss, then drop it right back down with an off speed, try and mix things up. Starling Joseph works his way to a full count. Some good plate discipline from him.
Watt wanted that strike. You saw him strutting off the mound on that one. He thought that was in the zone, around that low and in corner.
I think we've seen a few disagreements from both these starting pitchers on where the bottom of the strike zone is. We've seen a few calls more so go in the batter's favor. Almost seems like the lower part's a little bit higher of a strike zone, I guess I would argue. In any case, it's worked out to Joseph's favor with the count still 3-2.
Yeah, and those are conversations you're going to have every game. Obviously, with different umpires, everyone has a different strike zone to them, so it's kind of interesting to figure out where the zone exactly is.
So that one's well inside to Joseph. Works his way from a tough situation to a ball four. Gets to walk his way over towards first.
It was a very good at-bat there from Starling Joseph. He's had two very good at-bats in his two plate appearances so far. He worked his way back from a 1-2 count almost. He had a couple of pitches that were very close in the zone that BJ Small thought were just a little too low or a little too in on Starling. So a good eye from him, able to get another base runner on, which is another big thing that we want to see from London, trying to get a rally going, just trying to get people from station to station. And
again, the Majors have not had an opportunity to hit with runners in scoring position so far. Just a couple solo shots as Diolio turns on that one. A little bit late, though, goes foul down the right side. The Royals, in comparison, 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. So a little bit tougher goings from them, but does show how they've been able to get some consistent base runners, whether that be through the hit column or through the error column, unfortunately for the Majors side. Now a bit inside off the plate, making it a 2-1 count. Again, if you're just joining us, the Majors leading 2-1, leading in the hits column as well, 4-3, but have committed 3 errors on the game so far. Eduardo Diolio in the box. That one grounded hard, but foul down the third base side. And we've mentioned it a couple times. It's definitely been a battle of small ball versus long ball, almost what we were almost predicting before the game got going. Two very competitive teams, two different mindsets, but incredibly competitive so far, both in the playoff picture up to this point. Starling Joseph at first. The 2-2 pitch to Diolio swung on right up Main Street. It drifts its way over towards center field. Starling Joseph thinks about turning for 3, but doubles back over towards second. So a walk and a single, getting the Majors their first runner in scoring position of the game.
Yeah, so a nice one there from Eduardo Diolio. Your first inning with 2 different base hits. Noah and Diolio are your 2 men with base hits in this inning. Now you have 2 guys on. A really good opportunity here for Tucker Zadunic with only 1 away. He was hit by a pitch early in his first at-bat.
That one's grounded right between the first and second baseman. Drifts its way over towards right field. Starling Joseph makes the turn at third, but will make his way back over to third base. Tucker Zadunic loading the bases. Good effort from him. Doing exactly what he needs to do. And yeah, for the first time, back-to-back on base attempts in this one. So good effort from him.
Yeah, the Majors starting to get into their kind of small ball mentality here in the bottom of the 4th. We saw earlier in the year they were able to do that really well. You can see here just how well they're able to do it. Starling Joseph thought about the run around third base. However, the great throw to the cutoff man from Andy Leader kind of stopped him there. So now a good moment here for Adam Thuss with the bases loaded.
I think it was a good mindset from Joseph. Obviously, a very tight ball game, 2-1, just 1 out in the inning so far. You don't want to give up an unnecessary run on the base paths if you can. Still give your team plenty of opportunities. As Adam Thuss drills that one deep over towards right field. The right fielder Leader gets under it, but right on the warning track. Joseph will dart his way from third over to home. Eduardo Diolio advances to third. And the Majors widen the lead in this one, now up 3-1. Off a sacrifice fly off the bat of Adam Thuss.
Just more good pieces of hitting there from Adam Thuss. That's kind of where he was aiming. If you're a right-handed hitter in those situations, you kind of want to aim for that right center gap a little bit. He went more into right around the warning track area. That gave Starling Joseph a great amount of time to get to home plate off the tag. And now it's Xavier Whittle who homered his first time up, looking to bring another run here with Eduardo Diolio over there on third.
So pretty productive one. That restraint on the base paths did indeed pay off. Still 1 runner in scoring position. Diolio over at third. Zadunic still over at first. Whittle would love to replicate his last performance, obviously back in the 3rd inning. That solo shot. But some good stuff. Obviously, Thuss has come in clutch pretty often as of late, whether that be through some home runs, some good base hits, or a sacrifice fly in this case. The 0-2 pitch swung on foul.
Yeah, even in an 0-2 count, Xavier Whittle's really able to work himself into kind of a better count for himself. He has such good discipline at the plate. He's able to foul off so many good pitches as well. So you saw that one just a little bit outside, no swing.
Close call on that one.
A very close call on that one. But again, as the kind of discipline that Xavier Whittle brings to this lineup, able to raise the pitch count on Liam Watt. He's at 56 now. I believe that's what the number says.
Yes, you are indeed right. That is 56.
Maybe I'm losing
57 now, excuse me.
I'm losing my sight, maybe. I don't know. But just the great discipline he's able to bring to the plate from that right side.
The 1-2 pitch swung on. A moonshot right up there. Middle infielder squaring it up. It'll be Geraldo makes the play for the 3rd out. But the Majors able to widen the inning here. A nice big sacrifice fly off the bat of Adam Thuss, widening things. So the Majors right now leading 3-1 out, hitting the Royals 6-3 as well. As we get ready to shift into the top of the fifth, we will take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a few moments. Again, you're watching the London Majors taking on the Guelph Royals right here on Majors TV.
Obviously, the city loves you. The city adores you. You're a fan favorite across the board. How is it dealing with that much pressure, being in that celebrity spotlight everywhere you go? Perfect. That's good enough. How do you stay so fit and lean on a regular basis? Nice. I like that. Running's very important. Cardio. I'm not confident on what that is. Oh, yeah, there you go. I can appreciate that one, 100%. And I guess last personal tip, everything aside, how do you keep the beard so nice and well shaved consistently? I can never seem to get as good a one as you. Like, are you talking like a cream or an oil, something like that? Okay, perfect. I incredibly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking with me today. Excited for the season, huh? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. Forest having a really fun time here under the lights for some Friday night baseball. The Majors having a good time as well. Currently up 3-1 against the Guelph Royals, have scored a run the past 3 innings, the second, the third, and the fourth.
So kind of starting to get back into their own rhythm. The strong start here from Keys for the first 4 innings. He's only thrown 35 pitches tonight, 21 of those being strikes. And now you face the 9-1-2 hitter for the 5th inning. It's been strong from him. It's been strong from the offense. You haven't exactly seen that kind of momentum, the rallies that we were kind of talking about earlier, but we have seen the power get into use. We've seen the contact get into use as well, and just the smart play on both sides of the field from both teams. Even as this one is into center. Bernie will get there.
It was Andy Leader who flew that one to center. Bernie has gotten a good amount of action over in center, to say the least, this game so far.
Him and Thuss have had some nice action over there in the outfield.
You know, we've talked about the strikeouts for Keys so far, but he has had a good amount of what we're used to seeing from Keys, which is a good amount of kind of soft flyouts, some soft groundouts, a lot of contact here and there, but not really a lot of damage off of it. So good effort from him so far as the Royals turn things back over to the top of the order. Garrett Takamatsu in the box. Singled back in the first. Ended up coming around to score for the first run of the ball game for the Royals, and got on, but via an error in the third. So that one's hit sky high. Xavier Whittle making his way over, trying to make the play, and able to get it over in the foul grass. And quickly, almost before we've even had time to really talk a whole lot, we're at 2 outs.
Yeah, we didn't really have a lot of time to kind of process the first out. We've already got a second one here, and now you can really see the groove that Travis Keys has put himself in. We saw it last week against Chatham. We're seeing it right again here tonight against the Guelph Royals. And when you get Travis Keys into a momentum like this, it's so hard to stop. How quick was that inning?
That was in record time, I would argue. That was a very, very quick top of the inning. Impressive stuff from Travis Keys, an efficient start as well. So what a ball game so far. But speaking of ball games tonight, the Majors and the Royals, not the only matchup that we're seeing across the CBL. A few other games on the go, including the Maple Leafs in Hamilton to take on the Cardinals. The Cardinals right now up 5-0 in the bottom of the third. over in Chatham. The Panthers are in town to take on the Barnstormers. The Barnstormers up 2-1 right now in the bottom of the third as well. And then the only home team that is losing so far, the Barrie Baycats are in Brantford to take on the Red Sox, but the Red Sox down 7-1 in the bottom of the fourth. So pretty eventful night for a Friday night across the Canadian Baseball League. In any case, thank you so much for joining us here in London for this one between the Majors and the Guelph Royals. Whether that's on CBL TV or on Majors TV as well. Appreciate having you here. Again, Justin Koehler joined by Owen Taylor up in the box. Evan Fredrickson down on field level. Appreciate having you. It's been an exciting ball game. Not quite the blowout that we've seen in a lot of the games so far this season, but still a fun one.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of those, and obviously you've mentioned a lot. You don't really exactly like those games as opposed to a game like this, more of a pitching duel kind of action to you, and that's the one thing that's so beautiful about baseball is you can get one night and then you get the exact opposite the night after that. So it's very interesting the different ways you can kind of game plan your team throughout the game, not even just before in your warm-up leading up to first pitch. You're able to change everything so quickly throughout the night as we continue on for the bottom of the fifth. We're already halfway into this game.
We're already halfway through this game.
Flying right now. It feels like I just sat down for the intro.
Honestly, though, I hear you there. As Bernie turns on it pretty quick. Finds the grass over and left. A liner out there to get things going in the Majors' favor with a nice little single.
Well, that's Bernie's first hit of the night and another good start to an inning. We've seen that a lot throughout this ball game. At the start of the second, you had the Starling Joseph home run. The start of the third, you saw in a Xavier Whittle home run as well. So we've really seen these hot starts to the inning. London now just kind of needs to continue on that as you look at our leaders in home runs. And
Escato drills that one deep over towards right center. The right fielder leader able to get there to make the grab. Again, you almost willed a home run into existence. That one went pretty deep over towards right center. That would have been pretty magical on the broadcast if we could have called that one a split second before it happens. Escato obviously would have loved that one to go his favor. Still all smiles, though.
I haven't had the same luck that I had a couple weeks ago. I've kind of lost it a little bit.
You know, it's hard not to have smiles on your face if you're Escato when you're leading the league in hits and in home runs. So, might not be his night so far, but still not too much to be upset about as Watt will make the pickoff attempt over at first, but Bernie able to get back in time.
Yeah, Michael Escato is 0 for 3. However, he has had some really good contact on these pitches. His fly out to center earlier on in the fourth inning, we saw that was another really hard hit one. That was about the warning track area as well, and then that one into right. So he's been swinging the stick well. However, just hasn't really had the outcomes he was hoping for.
1-0 pitch to Lenahan, grounded foul down the third base side. So 3-1 ball game. The Royals got in the scoring column early in the first, scored 1 run. But the Majors have scored 1 run in every inning since, the second, the third, and the fourth. They'd love to keep that streak going and rack up some runs here in the bottom of the fifth.
A guy with speed on first as well.
As Lenahan gets a hold of that one over towards center field. Not quite far enough, though. Williams, the center fielder, able to get underneath it. And you know what? It's been a pretty quick fifth inning. We're already at 2 outs now in the bottom of the fifth after a incredibly quick top to the fifth as well.
Yeah, it was only about 5 or 6 pitches thrown from Travis Keys. We're getting just about the same thing here from Liam Watt as well. So as we have Christian and Noah up to the dish.
As Bernie makes a break over towards second base. The throw not in time, though. A good dive from Bernie into second. First stolen base of the ball game for the Majors, and they'd love to make up for those caught stealing attempts that they had a bit earlier on. 2 times they've been caught on the base paths, so Bernie trying to shift things back in a positive direction when it comes to baseball IQ around the bases.
And a good jump on him right there is Matthew Ward is a very good defensive catcher. Obviously, you know the speed Bernie has, but it was still a very close play over there at second base. That'll be his 7th of the season, and now another runner in scoring position for a hot hitter in Christian Inoa.
Christian Inoa would love to tack things on as he finds the gap right up Main Street in the middle of the infield. Jared Burney makes the turn from third. He'll trot his way home. And just like that, a beautiful RBI single off the bat of Christian Inoa makes this a 4-1 ball game.
Well, that's what happens when you can get 1 through 9 on the base paths. Obviously, we haven't seen everybody on yet. However, when you do have somebody on the bases and you know that your next 2, next 3 guys are able to bring you home, it's very uplifting for a team to be able to have that much trust in them. Christian Inoa, a nice single right back up the middle. And obviously the speed of Bernie, there was no contest at home plate.
Yeah, Bernie's pretty quick. He was able to get his way home in a bit of a flash, but yeah, definitely was able to trot his way over towards home to get that run in. Majors now 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position, so good job from them when it comes to the bats and being clutch in this one. But speaking of being clutch, Starling Joseph, the right-handed batter in the box, a loud home run earlier and a walk as well, so he's 1 for 1. Watt pickoff attempt over at first, excuse me. Inoa not quite far enough off the bases to make it close. So an 0-1 count, 2 outs now in the bottom of the 5th. We're talking about how quick this inning was, but the Majors slowing things down, getting things in their favor as Joseph swings and misses on strike 2.
Do we want to try and get our luck going here with the little announcing jinx?
We've talked about this before.
We can't really call
it
jinx anymore, but
you know what? Some people would argue that, though. The broadcaster jinx can be real as Starling Joseph pops that one over, but finds its way into the stands down the first base side.
Maybe we need to stop bringing it up.
Yeah, you know, we really like to flirt with some dangerous situations by bringing up these potential clutch moments up in the booth. It's weirdly, I would say it's gone in our favor a few times, especially when you're on the call because you're pretty wicked at it. I don't try and attempt at it. I find it so risky. I do not want to be that broadcaster that you know, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious.
Yes.
Is what So count now 0-2, 2 outs on Starling Joseph. I'd love to turn on something here. So that one swung on, grounded foul down the third base side. So still plenty of baseball left to play as we're now in the bottom of the 5th. But yeah, a really quick one so far. First pitch was at 7:05, only just about 8:33 by our watches here. And we're already driving well through the middle innings. Majors have scored in 4 back-to-back innings now. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Next pitch to Joseph downstairs. First ball of the at-bat.
It's another thing that has really impressed me from Starling Joseph, his ability to read the pitch out of the pitcher's hand and kind of make his decision early on some of these. He's just able to see the spin so well that it gives him so much discipline at the plate as well. There's another one there even. That's a nice high fastball about belt high that is tough for some hitters, although just the eye that Starling Joseph is able to have as of late, it's really helped him in situations like that. At the start of the year, he was kind of a either get on base or strike out kind of guy, but he's really worked on it, and he's really been succeeding at that kind of aspect of the game.
Watt set on the mound, the 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, but got a little piece of it there, excuse me. Looks like they'll make the throw down to first just in case. But I believe it was called foul, so Inoa will trot his way back over to first. And yeah. I want to correct something that you've said earlier. It's become a trait of me, which is that I don't like long, big scoring games. I do like a good home run here and there, but I love the aspects of precision. So plate discipline, I love seeing a good at-bat in terms of trying to figure out where the lines are in the strike zone if you're the batter in the box. I love a good pitcher's duel. Again, very precise, very pinpoint accurate at times. So that one's downstairs inside for ball 2. Which is why I love aspects of the All-Star game like the skills competitions, because it really drives home how much of a game of finesse and a game of inches baseball can be sometimes. I love that aspect of it. But don't get me wrong, I do love a good home run. But there's just something nice about a good pitcher's duel that's a little low scoring. As that one's grounded over towards third. Long throw, but a routine throw over towards first. And that'll wrap things up for the Majors, but for the 4th inning in a row, they've gotten another run on the board. Now up 4-1 against the Guelph Royals, out hitting them as well, 8-3. And with that, we will take a quick commercial break as we get ready to roll into the top of the 6th. Yeah, again, a pretty quick one so far here in London, Ontario. We'll be back in just a few moments. You're watching the Guelph Royals take on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Pregame Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The All-Star weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Cause I'm back in my zone now. Cause I'm back in my zone now.
And we're back here at Labatt Memorial Park. Been a pretty fun ball game so far. Relatively low scoring, all said and done. The Majors up 4-1 against the Guelph Royals here at the home stadium. Still a pretty good crowd in attendance as well. Some autographs being signed. There's Cleveland Brownlee, obviously a London hometown favorite here in the city. But speaking of hometown favorites, Travis Keys doing incredibly well on the mound. Good stuff from him so far. The London native, the 28-year-old two-time All-Star, been pretty sharp so far in today's battle. And for the Royals, we will be seeing Miguel Geraldo, Victor Mascai, and Tag Gollert, the 3, 4, and 5 batters for the Royals today. So that one's upstairs. And you know, one thing that I appreciate up in here, I'm sure you'll appreciate, and I know the players will appreciate down on the field, is the slightly cooler temperatures today that we've been seeing as well, comparatively to the past little while, as that one's drilled over towards left center. It's going to find the grass out there. The center fielder, Jared Burney, able to pick it up, makes the throw from center. Good speed to get to it, holding Geraldo over at first, but a good single to get the inning going.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there. Also good defense from Burney, able to kind of find the right angle to the ball and get himself over to it. There's also a little bit of action over in the Guelph bullpen as well. who we believe to be Glaven Pineda.
So might see a bit of a change over the next couple innings on the mound for the Royals. Liam Watt been doing pretty well so far, but gotten hit around a little bit. A couple of hard hit ones, a couple of homers in the game as well. As that one's drilled over towards right, finds the grass just a few feet away from the foul line inside. Geraldo round second, on his way over towards third. He'll get the stop sign though. And from a single to a double now off the bat of Victor Mascai. Puts Travis Keys and the Majors in a bit of a difficult situation. Now 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, very hard hit ball right down the right field line. Was able to get all the way to the wall. It almost looked like Miguel Geraldo was able to come all the way around third and come in the store. However, the good throw from Tucker Zadunic there, and we'll just quickly, Rup Chanderdat will quickly come out to the mound, check on his starter, see how he's feeling. There's no action in the London bullpen as of right now. So you see people standing up. That's just because they're probably bored out of their mind.
I know they were signing some autographs, I think, last time I checked in over there. They're always having fun. A very, I guess, quirky word would be to describe the Majors bullpen at times, but a whole lot of fun as well. Yeah, that likely just to slow Travis Keys down a little bit. Rup Chanderdat going out there just to tell him the game plan, try and almost chip off a little bit of momentum that the Royals were building up as well. Obviously, back-to-back base hits, a double right there as well. Anything to try and slow them down. A little mound visit can really work in their favor. Tank Gollert with the big opportunity now. Again, was just picked up last week for the Guelph Royals. 0 for 2 today so far.
Yet again, we're kind of seeing this really in the infield. The 2 on the left side, Lenahan and Niscato, more on the base path, just in front of the base path, not in that grass. Whittle and Inoa on that right side, kind of expecting maybe that bunt over down the first base line, just trying to cut that off quickly.
And yeah, Inoa very far towards first base comparatively as well to where we used to see him. Or where we're used to seeing him, I guess I should say. But yeah, this is the second time this ball game that we've seen the infield defense shifted well in. Earlier on, it was a bit more extreme. Every single infielder was on that grass, which was very shocking to see, but weren't able to see it come to fruition. I think it was a strikeout to end the inning. That one drifts a bit out of the zone, making it a 3-1 count. But yeah, they're still very, very far in, obviously wanting to do everything they can to limit a play at home. Tying run at the plate. So realistically, any play on the infield, they'll eye up the runner over at third to slow him down, then try and make the throw to first. But if it's a tough one, they'll make the throw home. As Gollert works a walk to load the bases. A big opportunity now for the Guelph Royals. The go-ahead run now in the box. Biggest opportunity they've had all game so far. Been 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, so they'd love to change that number here. J.D. Williams now in the box. Big opportunity for him to really turn things around quick for the Royals. Still none out, top of the 6th. First pitch to him is popped up, but finds just the edge of the infield grass and drifts its way out. So that'll score at least 2. And that one gets away from Escato over at second, but rolls conveniently over towards Thus. A good little break for them. Almost looked like it was going to be another play at home. So Gollert now over at third. J.D. Williams, a big opportunity, cashes in a couple runs, making it a 1-run ball game. Majors still hold the lead, but pretty tight, 4-3.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate one there for Xavier Whittle. As you said, just kind of caught the outfield right where the dirt and grass meet and just took a really weird hop over to the Guelph bullpen over where the tarp is, way in the corner. It is going to be a tough one. I'm not sure what they will rule that for Williams, either a double or a single on that pitch.
That one's drilled deep towards right, but just drifts foul. Travis Key's starting to get hit around a little bit in this inning. But off your point there, I believe it's been ruled a double. Because I don't think there was an error on the throw. He would have gotten into second no matter what. Just a really well-placed one. Almost hard to describe up in the booth in terms of how that one took a funky hop. But the Royals will definitely take the break there. Still 2 in scoring position and none out. As that one's again drilled a liner down the first base side, but foul. Both these attempts by Davis Nadal pretty close, to say the least.
Yeah, now this has kind of become a ball game again. It's only a 1-run game. You have the lead-taking run 180 feet away over there on second base. And a guy in Davis Nadal who has been swinging the bat well as of late, has struck out twice today. As he's kind of in another hole here.
That one swung on and missed. Good pitch mix from Travis Keys. It's now his 5th in the ball game on the strikeout column. For the first out of the top of the 6th. But yeah, a very tough inning, and I think the Royals have shifted to a more aggressive approach, I would say, in the batter's box. They are swinging a lot earlier in the count, and that's where they're really succeeding. It looks like they've almost started to figure out a little bit that a lot of these first pitches that Travis Keys is aiming for is a first pitch strike. So if you're going to swing at something that you're pretty confident is going to be a strike, and you'll get the results from there. As it looks like they're going to be intentionally walking Matthew Ward over to first. Keep that force in play. Always a risky one to get going, but for a guy like Travis Keys, it does set up a double play situation, especially with the amount of soft contact he can get. Majors are banking on that coming into play. Could also potentially force an out at home if it's a tougher scenario as well. But we'll definitely go from at-bat to at-bat.
Yeah, and this does give you about any play possible here along the infield. You know that.
So that one swung on, grounded up the middle, just gets past the glove of Escato, drifts in towards center. Bernie will throw it in towards second, but it'll cash in the tying run of this ball game. Scored it in 2. So the Royals have now taken the lead, now up 5-4. A clutch hit for Andy Leader and a tough play for this Majors defense.
Yeah, it's been a real productive inning for the Guelph Royals. As we were talking about earlier, their kind of small ball approach. We're really seeing that come into fruition here with this little 4-run rally going on in the top of the 6th. Garrett Takamatsu will come up now, 1 for 3 with a single in his first at-bat.
A tough part of the lineup to get to. Still 1 runner in scoring position, 2 men on. So that one's down in the dirt for ball 1. Yeah, this inning has really started to get away from Travis Keys, the starter. We're starting to see a bit more action over in the Majors bullpen as a result. Still no one hard throwing quite yet. Obviously, Keys only had 72 pitches, so this has really been the only inning that he's been hit around in this sort of a way. As that one swung on the liner down the third base side, but well fouled.
Yeah, and this is a time for Travis Keys just to kind of take a breath, try and play his own game. You see Caleb Casey is the one on the bump right now, out in the bullpen. This is a big chance for Travis Keys to try to regroup himself, get himself right back into his approach and his mindset, trying to at least get Takamatsu out right here, and a very good fastball right there on the outer half. Yeah, try and put yourself in a good spot if you're Travis Keys here. If you can get at least 1 out, you know you can trust the rest of your guys to get that third and then come right up in the bottom half, try and get the bat swinging.
So 1-2 count, 1 out, top of the 6th. Travis Keys will take a step off the mound. Hold Matthew Ward over at second base. And it's tough. I feel like in a game like this, you can't really blame Travis Keys too heavily. You can't blame the defense too heavily as well. It's just the Guelph Royals have done a really good job of counteracting Travis Keys' repertoire and his usual mix on the mound. So a lot of soft contact, but able to find the proper spots in the field, just able to get past a lot of this Majors defense, particularly the Majors infield. A lot of close plays, but just not a lot that they've been able to make and turn around on. So it just speaks to how good their contact is, how good they are at placing the ball sometimes where they want to, and a lot of things going their way to really shift momentum in Guelph's favor.
Yeah, and even with the errors on the board for London, it says there's 3.
So that one's a little dribbler over towards Anoa at second. Will attempt the pick over at second, able to get the routine throw towards first. Tried to tag Andy Leader on his way over towards second, but it looks like he avoided the tag just enough. Rup Chanderdat might not be too happy. He's trotting his way out there to have a conversation with third base umpire and crew chief Justin Van Horn.
Even Noah kind of wanted to talk to him about it there. Escato's make him take a step back just to keep himself out of it. Rup Chanderdat just needed the quick explanation. But again, back to the point before that, obviously you have the 3 errors on the board. It's something you're going to have to try and regroup and figure out a way to kind of avoid as the game goes on. It's not exactly going to be something that is going to affect you all too much at this point. Even though you had those 3 errors, you didn't really give up a lot of damage on them.
That one swung on, drilled over towards center. Jarrett Burney having to shift back a little bit, but able to make the play. And the Majors get out of what was a tough top of the 6th. Went from a 4-1 lead to being down 5-4. Just a rally of hits. Some good clutch moments for the Royals, who now command the lead, but are still being out hit by the Majors 8-7. So yeah, a tough one there to say the least. Travis Keys just getting hit around pretty well. A really good opportunity for the Royals, just opportunity after opportunity, and they're cashing in when they had to. We've talked about it early on, just how good their small ball mentality is in these games, and they really just put that out on display.
Yeah, and they have, and it's been really good for them as well here for this one, especially in that inning.
And so we will take a quick opportunity to send it down to our third man on the broadcast, Evan Fredrickson, down on field level with some nice fun stuff for us. Evan, what do you got?
Gentlemen, thank you very much. The Majors accomplished something in their last game that they haven't done since 2022, and that's starting 17-8 in their first 25 games. Now, the Majors have had a great first half of their season, compiling a 14.3 Maple, and the hitting side has contributed for 9.2 of that Maple. Now, it's going to be fun to see what happens in the second half, because the last time the Majors had a standout second half was back in 2022 as well, when they went 15-3. Now, I'm not going to say what happened during that year, but it was a pretty special year. Now, I want you guys, gentlemen, to watch it for the storylines. Pitching, hitting, consistent pitching as well. It's going to be fun to see what this team can do in the second half, especially with a #1 seed on the line, guys.
Obviously, looking back to that 2022 season, Majors did quite a lot. A big year for them, and yeah, like Evan just mentioned, a lot of that attributed to their second half in the season. Obviously, we're just coming up to the All-Star break this weekend. That all those fun festivities kick off tomorrow. But yeah, still plenty of baseball to play, and a lot of these teams still have a chance to shift their fortunes, change things around, or keep the momentum going that they've had in the first, like the Majors have had.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I too kind of like the point that he made there. First time with this kind of record at this point in the year since their championship run a couple of years ago. It's interesting to see how they'll approach the rest of this season as we get into the second half of it. And it all starts with this game right here, getting a good mentality at least into the All-Star weekend and coming right back into it in Brantford on Tuesday. Should be interesting to see how they will approach that one after this, as they begin the second half.
Again, a good point there. It may not show it in the schedule on some of the websites, but the Majors do have a game next week on Tuesday against the Brantford Red Sox. So Be sure to check that one out when it rolls around. And as we shift into now the bottom of the 6th, we do have a pitching change on the mound for the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, it is Dlaven Pineda who is into this ball game, the 29-year-old from Azua, Dominican Republic. He's pitched in 5 different games so far, tallying 7 innings pitched, and he has been pretty strong, a 2.57 ERA. That's good for 2 earned runs, not to mention 12 strikeouts and only 4 walks so far. He last pitched back on Wednesday against the Welland Jackfish. He went 1 scoreless inning.
So we'll see how the majors go. We're guaranteed to see Eduardo Diolio, Tucker Zadunic, and Adam Thuss, but I wouldn't be shocked to see some changes now that we have a righty on the bump. The 0-1 pitch to Diolio. Check swing, but went around a little too far to make it 0-2.
Yeah, nice breaking ball out there from Pineda. Just really kind of spiked that one and really got it away from Diolio. It's always tough to see those kind of sweeping sliders. They kind of come up at you and then...
As that one's shot over towards shallow right field. 3 fielders going for it. No one able to come up with it cleanly, though. A tough play for really any of them. Almost cut all of them pretty well out there. So a nice single for Eduardo Diolio to get the inning going.
Yeah, nice one there. Another pitch on that outer half that he just kind of bloops out there. You saw 3 different people go get that baseball. Mascai, Geraldo, and Leader all go out there, but none of them could really get a good look at it. It fell right in between all 3 of them. So a little bit of luck to start the bottom of the 6th here.
I think no matter what, it would have been tough. I think no matter what, it would have been an awkward attempt from any of the 3 as well, as Tucker Zadunic in the box turns on one, but a little late. A fly ball over towards left. An easy play for Gollard out there to make it the first out of the inning.
Yeah, much better one there from the left fielder out there. So maybe not the start you were looking for if you're Dlaven Pineda, just to get a runner on base. However, you do get that out right back after that. We actually do still see Adam Thuss in this game. Usually with a right-handed pitcher, we would kind of see more a Jaden Babiak or Ryder Hancock in this position. But Thuss will stay in. He's 0 for 1 today. A ground out to third, and then the sac fly that stored Starling Joseph back in the 4th.
Well, Adam Thuss, a chance to try and advance Diolio in some way, shape, or form. The majors still itching to claw back those runs that they lost at the top of the 6th. Again, the majors have scored runs in 4 back-to-back innings, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. They'd love to get another one on the board here to tie things up if they can. And all said and done, they're still out hitting the Royals 9-7, but those 3 errors really coming to bite them as we start turning towards the later innings. 0-2-1 swung on and missed. Adam Thuss strikes out.
Yeah, great couple of fastballs there from Pineda. He can really get some velocity on that pitch, and now with 2 away, maybe you're in a better spot if you're Guelph to try and keep this lead. You do still have 1 more out to get, as we have Whittle with Bernie on deck here.
Whittle already had a clutch moment early on, a big home run back in the 3rd towards deep right center. As that one slides its way out of the zone for ball 1. So quick first half of the ball game, all said and done. Both teams looking to slow things down, especially with how close this ball game has gotten. Xavier Whittle, a good opportunity here. That one swung on, fouled back. Pineda been pretty sharp so far, really attacking the strike zone, attacking these batters as well. So almost quite the contrast, especially in terms of velocity, in terms of break from what we were seeing from Liam Watt to get the game going. And for context on that side, Liam Watt got through 5 innings, gave up 8 hits, 4 earned runs, struck out 2 and walked 1 as Xavier Whittle finds the right side, but also finds the glove of leader out there in right. So, for the first time since the first inning, the Majors are quiet here through the bottom of the 6th. So the Guelph Royals still lead 5-4. Again, Majors still leading in the hit column 9-7, but as we get ready to shift into the top of the 7th, we will take a quick commercial break. Again, you're watching the Guelph Royals taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
So right off the bat, what's your least favorite food? Oh, you brought fish. Okay, I get that. What are some of your go-to foods that you love? Oh, more props. Great, wicked. Fruits and vegetables. Great pick. You know, incredibly important. I'm sure a lot of the London Majors will agree with you. I'm gonna have you clean that up, though. You know, I'm not here to be a janitor.
We got this, united, step it up, keep on thriving. We trying, keep shining, living in a world where we.
When we're together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
Shine on.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham Kent, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
And we're back at Labatt Memorial Park. Looks like Travis Keys will be back on the mound once again. Got hit around a little bit in that last inning, but all said and done, still a pretty close ball game, but Royals ahead 5-4. Some movement over in the Majors bullpen, so could see a change this inning. We'll see how Travis Keys performs. I think that'll be the big indicator. Probably only a couple more hits before things really start to change for both teams on the pitching side. We're seeing activity for the Royals, seeing some activity for the Majors, but a very interesting game that we've been seeing so far.
Yeah, it has been. You've kind of seen the back and forth already with it, and you've kind of been able to compare the two sides as well.
Zascato makes the play there. A long throw from short over to first, but bit offline a bit late. Still be ruled a hit for Miguel Geraldo, who got the inning going with that single. A good defensive show from Zascato to not let that get to the outfield grass. Tough no matter what to try and turn a play there and make that throw over to first, but a good attempt, I guess I would say at the very least.
It is, and we've seen him do that earlier this year as well, so it's not something that's uncommon to see from Michael Zascato. It's back-to-back innings where Miguel Geraldo gets a leadoff single to start it. So maybe we kind of see the same thing from the Guelph Royals here.
Is that a wave going around Labatt Memorial Park right now? Absolutely love that. That one swung on, fouled back. You know, it's hard in any ballpark that is not completely around in terms of the stands, in terms of having fans out in the outfield to get a wave going. So, you know what? Props to you, everybody here at Labatt Memorial Park. It's a tough thing to get a wave going anywhere you are, but I love to see it. Obviously, the hometown crowd having tons of fun here under the lights for some Friday night baseball. So Miguel Geraldo over at first. Victor Mascai in the box, the left-handed batter. 1-1 pitch to him. Finds the outer part of the plate for strike 2.
This will be a big out for Travis Keys if he's able to get it. Victor Mascai doubled his last time up. It was just a hard liner right down the right field line. Look for maybe a pitch away from this guy here.
That one's drilled deep towards right center field. It's going back just off the wall over in right center. Tucker Zadunic gets to it quick, makes the throw in. Able to hold the runners, but a pretty loud double puts 2 runners in scoring position, and the Guelph Royals are really keeping the momentum going.
Yeah, it's the same as last inning. We got the leadoff single and then the double right after. Rup Chanderdat will quickly come out to check. This might possibly be the end of Travis Keys' night. We will see if he hands over the baseball.
Looks like he's going straight for the ball, so it looks like we will be getting a pitching change here. So Travis Keys coming out of the ball game. We will have a pitching change for the London Majors. We will take a quick commercial break in the meantime. Again, the Guelph Royals leading 5-4 against the London Majors. We'll be back in just a few moments right here on Majors TV.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
We're back here at Labatt Memorial Park. Travis Keys, the starter for the Majors, officially out of this ball game. Right-handed pitcher Caleb Casey now coming in his place.
Yeah, so Travis Keys goes 6+. The 2 runners on base will be his responsibility if they come around to score. Caleb Casey, who has had a pretty decent first half of the year, a 5.79 ERA and 9 1/3 innings through 8 games. That's only 6 earned runs he's given up. However, 3 home runs. So it is look for him to try and keep the hits down, try and keep the walks down, try and keep himself in control. He is a big strikeout guy, a 9.6 strikeouts per 9 for him. So he's very consistent at that aspect. Look for him to try and get everything, try and get close to the plate, get everything to be a challenge pitch against these hitters. And as he faces Tad Gollert to start.
Look for Casey to try and get the strikeouts in his favor. A 2-to-1 strikeout ratio, 10 strikeouts compared to 5 walks on the season so far. Some good numbers in that category. A 1.39 whip, that's walks and hits per innings pitched. So been fairly efficient at limiting base runners, and we would love to really contribute in that category as much as possible, with the Royals threatening once again 2 runners in scoring position. Still none out here top of the 7th. As Casey will take a step off the mound.
Still nobody out here in the inning for the Guelph Royals.
If you're just joining us, that's Miguel Geraldo over at third. Victor Miscai over at second. A little grounder to Escato, the shortstop. A routine throw towards first. So that's exactly what you need to be doing if you are the Majors. Some nice routine plays. If there's a time in a ball game that you really need to be pressuring the fundamentals defensively, especially if you're these infielders, it is right now. A 5-4 ball game. Teams tied at 9 hits apiece as of now. And the Royals threatening with 2 runners in scoring position once again.
Yeah, obviously still a threat. You were able to get 1 out, and that's a big start for you, especially if you're Caleb Casey. You saw Dusty Davidson out there in the bullpen, as well as on the Guelph side, you do actually have Andrew Case, who will be an all-star this year. He will be heading to Chatham tomorrow as well.
First pitch to Williams in there for a strike.
So Casey's able to pump the strike zone early here. That's big if you are London.
Oh, one pitch, just a bit outside, evening things at a 1-1 count. But yeah, we'll see how matchup dependent this is. Obviously, Dusty Davidson, a very funky kind of sidearm delivery, but a left-handed delivery. Casey on the mound, a right-handed delivery. So we'll see how that comes into fruition when it comes to the lineup. That one's well upstairs for ball 2. Both pitchers have seen some success. You mentioned the numbers there, a 5.79 ERA. Been very good. Davidson, who's warming up, also some pretty solid numbers from him. But two very, very different deliveries, two very different approaches as well. Casey going more for the strikeouts. Davidson gets a lot of soft contact as that one swung on, fouled down the right side. Really turned into a lovely night for some baseball here in London, Ontario, though. Kind of some reddish skies over and left, a few scattered clouds, but still plenty of clear skies as well here in London. Definitely better than the scorching heat from the past few weeks. The 2-2 pitch comes in just a bit too inside. That'll make it a full count. So good at bat from J.D. Williams so far. Crowd starting to get into it.
It's a big pitch. You need to get over the plate here for Casey.
Now a bit too far inside. Casey not too happy with a couple of the calls there. It's J.D. Williams. A good at-bat, trots his way over towards first, and suddenly, once again, the bases are loaded for the Guelph Royals. Continuing to shift momentum back in their favor after a pretty slow start to the game. Looks like Rup Chanderdat is going to walk his way out to the mound, have a quick conversation with his pitcher.
We might actually see Dusty Davidson come into this game. He did drop the ball that he was throwing.
I don't think he can come in quite yet. You do have to face 3 batters before you can have a pitching change. So Dusty Davidson kind of just keeping an eye on the situation.
Well, and here
looks like we are getting a pitching change here. So just as quickly as Caleb Casey came into the ball game, it looks like he is being taken out.
I do like this move from Rup Chanderdat. It is Davis Nadal coming to the dish. He's struck out 3 times, all against Travis Keys, who is a left-handed pitcher. So looking at his numbers as well, he's not the strongest against left-handers. So a good matchup here if you are London.
The umpire is coming around, had a quick conversation over there. Now they've moved over to chat with Rup Chanderdat just off the mound, having a quick conversation about what's happening on the pitching side. Probably some conversations about whether this is a possible injury concern, whether this is... And it looks like with the change, they might be ruling a balk, it appears. The Guelph base runners being allowed to advance. So Miguel Geraldo just came in to score. In what's been a bit of a confusing play, to say the least. We're still trying to figure out a bit what's happening up here. We'll try and get the call for you as soon as we can.
So I believe that you do have the minimum 3 batter rule. However, I guess that's just kind of a loophole to it, where if you bring a guy in, but it'll be ruled as a balk if he hasn't faced the minimum.
I assume that's the play here. So as of now, the Guelph Royals are leading 6-4, and there is a pitching change. Dusty Davidson has officially come into this ball game. Some impressive numbers, but yes, a very unconventional kind of play and back and forth that we just saw. Again, if you're confused at home, we're a little confused up here as well, to say the least. A very unconventional play, very irregular to see in some of these CBL games. But we now have, the bases are still loaded. I believe Victor Mascai has now made his way over towards third. J.D. Williams is over at second. And Davis Nadal was awarded first on that play. So Miguel Geraldo did come in to score.
So is it more a balk, or is it if you switch, it's an intentional walk?
I think as of now, and we might get clarification on this a little bit later, so just bear with me. As of right now, it appears to have been a balk because of that pitching change, which you needed to face 3 batters. The Majors electing to make the pitching change just 1 batter in, so that technically is the pitcher coming off the mound in some way, shape, or form. So all the batters have been awarded a base, whether that be a balk or not. So that runner came in, everyone advanced 90 feet, so we're still at a bases loaded situation, and Matthew Ward is now in the box. So it looks like the Majors were really just wanting the matchup change on the pitching side, and were willing to sacrifice the run to do it. Because there was a lot of confidence from Rup Chanderdat coming to the mound to make that change. A very quick turn and a quick conversation between him and the umpires as well, all said and done. So it looks like Rup understood that that was what was going to happen and was willing to do it anyways. In any case, if you're the Majors, you get what you want, a little bit of pitching change over to Dusty Davidson on the mound. If you're the Royals, you kind of get what you want, which is almost a free run cashed in, still bases loaded, and still none out in the inning as well. I think that pretty much sums it up. I think as confusing of a, I guess, play as that was, I think that pretty much sums it up as best as we can. We'll maybe try and sum it up again later, but as of now, that's what we're calling it on this one. So Matthew Ward again in the box. 1 out in the inning, a 2-2 pitch driven right up to Dusty Davidson. He'll make the throw home to get the force out there. Eduardo Taylor with a quick turn to first. What a play from this infield defense. Dusty Davidson comes in, shuts things down, leaves the bases loaded. And a confusing inning, but might have been the right call if you are the Majors. Davidson quickly shuts things down, and what was a confusing inning, but might have gone the Majors' way right there.
Yeah, the quick kind of turnaround there for the Majors. Obviously, you give up the run. It's a kind of confusing way you do it.
Not very often we also get a 1-2-3 double play in baseball as well.
That is well. That's something we have not seen. On the bump for the Royals is Andrew Case now. You gotta stop. You're gonna keep making me laugh.
You know what? Thanks for joining us today, everybody. That was a confusing one. Thank you for bearing with us as we figured that one out up in the broadcast booth. I'm sure if we're a little bit confused, the fans in attendance must be floored at what just happened. So, if anything, good job. Thanks for tuning into the broadcast, because at least you get a little bit of a descriptor of what happened. Fans in attendance might be a little bit lost. So again, just to describe what happened in that confusing inning, it appeared to be, so Caleb Casey was pitching on the mound. He got through 1 batter. The Majors, Rup Chanderdat, elected to make a pitching change. Because of that change, he only faced 1 batter. You do have to face 3 batters minimum for the pitcher. So because of that, the umpiring crew awarded the Guelph Royals a free base, almost treating it like a balk in a way because of what happened. So the bases were loaded at the time, so Miguel Geraldo came in to score. Victor Mascai advanced from second to third. J.D. Williams from first to second, so it kept the bases loaded. The Royals were able to cash in a free run because of it, but the Majors were able to make the pitching change that they wanted to. And ultimately, you could argue that that ended up going in their favor with that amazing double play from Davidson over to home and over to first from there. So again, that's twice I've tried to sum it up. Thank you for bearing with us. And we've said it once or twice here. It's turned into an interesting ball game between the Guelph Royals and the London Majors.
It definitely has, and it was the kind of hot start from the majors that kind of turned itself around here with the 4-run inning in the 6th, and then the run scored there in the 7th. So now a 6-4 Royals lead.
I don't know if I can handle another confusing play like that. So it could be interesting how this game goes. Jared Burney, little grounder over towards first. A good diving play from Maskai over at first to get the first out. So the Guelph Royals still hold momentum in their hands. Both teams tied in the hits column at the very least. 9 hits apiece. The Majors have 3 errors in the ballgame so far as well. So quick first out. That'll turn things back to the top of the order for the Majors. Michael Escato now in the box. Strikeout victim in the first and flew out to center and right in the 3rd and 5th. Would love to get in the hit column today. Big swing and miss on that one. Talked about it already. Escato leading in the hits column and the home run column across the CBL.
Yes, these next couple of innings will be interesting for the Majors. See if they are able to get back into their form, as we I'm sure mentioned earlier. A run scored in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th inning.
I want a called strike in there. Escato not too happy about it, so he'll strike out. Made a quick turn towards the home plate umpire. That's BJ Small to have his thoughts known, but he'll trot his way back over towards the Majors dugout. So 2 quick outs, a ground out from Jared Burney and a strikeout from Escato. That'll bring up Trent Lenahan, the 3rd baseman today.
Now, we didn't get into full detail. That is Andrew Case now on the bump for the Guelph Royals, and how about the season he's having? He will be an All-Star this year, his first All-Star selection at 33 years old. In 9 games this year, he's pitched 10 2/3 innings. He's only given up 1 run. So he has a 0.84 ERA through 10 2/3 innings. Not to mention 16 strikeouts as well for him. He's only given up 4 hits in his last 4 appearances, only given up 1 run in that span.
Trent Lenahan grounds into 3rd, a routine throw towards first, so a quick 3 up, 3 down inning. Andrew Case incredibly efficient, the 33-year-old absolutely dealing in his first appearance of the ball game. And so we forced our way through a very, very funky 7th inning here at Labatt Memorial Park. The Guelph Royals still leading 6-4, and with that we will take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a few moments. You're watching the Guelph Royals taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Smoke alarms expire after 10 years. Check the date and test your smoke alarm today.
A working smoke alarm is a gift the whole family can enjoy.
Follow us online at LDNONT Fire.
Get ready, Chatham-Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Pregame Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The All-Star weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Canada's ball teams deserve uniforms built to win. VMF Sportswear delivers custom jerseys, pants, and caps. Level up your look with custom team apparel. Choose your colors. Drop your logo. Own your look. Order now at vmfsportswear.ca.
We got this, united, step it up, keep on thriving, we try it, keep shining, living in a world where we...
When we're together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
Shine on.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza, using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice.
And we're back here at Labatt Memorial Park. We got through what was an interesting 7th inning. We're now entering the top of the 8th. Guelph Royals still up 6-4. Both teams tied at 9 hits apiece, though. Dusty Davidson back on the mound. So thank you so much for joining us and for bearing with us through that inning. Andy Leader in the box. Squared up the bunt on that first pitch, but that one went outside, so it's a 1-0 count. Next pitch to him. A little bit outside. They make the appeal over towards first, but rule that he didn't swing, so that'll make it a 2-0 count. Dusty Davidson, incredible effort for the majors so far this season. Some pretty impressive numbers, to say the least. It's the 2-0 pitch in there, called strike. And again, if you didn't see the numbers a bit earlier when Davidson came in, he has a 1.76 ERA on the season so far, 21 strikeouts compared to just 6 walks, 3 earned runs given up as well. The 2-1 pitch. Leader squares up to bunt, but that one gets past Diolio, making it a 3-1 count. So again, plenty of action across the CBL today. We'll do a out-of-town scoreboard update in just a minute, but all these teams getting their last little piece of action in before the All-Star weekend. Majors, of course, have plenty heading out there for that to Chatham-Kent, as that one swung on and missed, making it a full count. So the Royals up by 2 runs. With how that situation went down in the second, you kind of got to think that the Majors have to at least cash in 2 runs at some point. If it's a 1-run ball game, you kind of got to treat that move by Rup Chanderdat as a bit of a failure, because that allowed a run to come in, widened the gap by an extra run. So in a different scenario, this game would be 1 run closer, but ultimately they got the result they want. I think if the Majors are able to at least tie up this ball game at this point, hopefully they would love to come back and win it, then you can treat that move by Rup Chanderdat as a bit more of a success. Still plenty of baseball to play today, but we'll kind of get a ruling depending on how this game finishes out between the two teams, on whether or not it was a good managerial move or a bit more of a questionable one, as that one's fouled back. That's one that I will be immediately going back to talk to Rup Chanderdat about, to get just some of his reasoning on it. I think it was very interesting, and I can see why he would have made that play. But every pro in a call like that has equally as many cons, so the only way to find out will be by finishing this ball game.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one that we will look back on. When this game concludes, the Majors still have at least one more chance to hit in this one.
Obviously starting to run out of opportunities now in the top of the 8th. So an 0-2 count now. Back to the top of the order. Garrett Takamatsu in the box. That one swung on. Dribbler just into the gap past the second baseman to Noah. Looks like it buckled him a little bit. Leader made the turn from second all the way over towards third. Now runners on the corners off that single from Takamatsu.
Yeah, that was one. It almost looked like Andy Leader was going to steal on that play. That's why Noah started to shift towards the second base bag, and Takamatsu kind of hit it right where he was positioned originally. As you said, it kind of buckled him a little bit. He was able to get right by him. That's Takamatsu's second hit of the night, and that puts him at 2 for 4.
So Anthony Gilbert now in the box. First pitch to him inside for ball 1. Yeah, the Royals so far have been flexing their contact abilities, their small ball capabilities as well. Not too many pitches hit all that hard by the Royals, but just hitting it exactly where they need to in the field here at Labatt Memorial Park, as that one swung on, popped way up. Eduardo Diolio tracking it behind the plate, making his way over. Bobbles it a little bit, but ultimately makes the play. As Eduardo Diolio makes some funky throws, some good base running IQ from the Guelph Royals. They're able to steal a run off of that. Eduardo Diolio Took a little bit of time making that play, so it looked like the Royals were quick to try and capitalize. Andy Leader came in to score. Takamatsu now way over at third on the play, so flexing the speed and almost catching the Majors in a situation where they weren't paying as much attention as they needed to.
Yeah, another kind of tough play there. It was an amazing grab by Eduardo Diolio, like right against the netting behind home plate. Takamatsu was able to tag up, head up to second, where Diolio started to make his throw over to second. Estrado cut it off before it could get to Inoa.
And it looks like we're seeing a few conversations on the field. Inoa over at second, making a few gestures out there. Saw Lenahan almost getting in on the conversation as well. They're not too pleased with what happened. They might be trying to rule that maybe he didn't touch a bag, so they're going to throw over towards first to try and see if he didn't touch the bag on his way, or probably if he didn't tag back up before running all the way to third. That's Takamatsu that they're arguing about. So the Majors not too happy with it. They're going to make a few throws around the bases to double check. Both umpires, first and third base. That's Brian Munt over at first and Justin Van Horn over at third, ruling that the Royals have done nothing wrong. The Majors, I think, were trying to see if they left the bases too early before the ball was called.
Another one I would have maybe thought they would have looked at is the play at the plate as well. It was Anthony Gilbert was still kind of standing at home plate as the throw came into Dusty Davidson. Maybe Davidson was just kind of aware he was there, didn't want to try and run into him.
So that one's grounded over towards Lenahan at third. Will make the routine throw over towards first. They hold Takamatsu at third and get the second out of the inning.
That's originally what I thought at least the conversation was about. Maybe a little interference on the play, but
in any case, the Royals are ruled to have done everything right. No errors, no issues, no outs on a call like that. You know, left, right, and center, this has been an interesting ball game. I feel like there's no other real word to use to describe it. Some funky plays, some funky outs, some interesting calls, and, you know, keeping us on our toes up in the broadcast booth as well.
One more thing I've also noticed with that is because of that play, there is another error on the board. So, interesting to see where that error might have came from.
I assume it's going to be on the play where the runners were able to advance, almost like from when they weren't paying attention, when they didn't make that play. I don't know if that would be on Diolio, or I think it would be on Escado with a wild throw back home, not able to get it, as that one's well over the head of Maskai, who's in the box, and the wild pitch will cost yet another run as Garrett Takamatsu comes in to score. There's no other nice way to put it. Things falling apart late in this game for the London Majors, and it all started back in the 6th. 4 runs scored in that one, 1 run in the 7th, now 2 already in the 8th, and it's been some messy baseball across the board.
It has, and it's been kind of up and down here for the Majors, and as you see, there is actually no action in the bullpen. I thought I saw Zach Laird throwing a little bit, as there's another pitch inside from Dusty Davidson. So that's 3 in a row, one of them going behind the back.
We'll see how
Victor Maskai.
We'll see how this goes. Obviously, the Majors not too happy with a few of the calls, a few of the plays so far that we've seen. A big swing and a miss to make it a 3-2 count. So what started as a ball game really in the Majors' favor, we're leading 4-1 at one point early on, has kind of been blown open by the Guelph Royals, who have rallied ever since. Now an 8-4 lead. So that one's outside, and another walk. Second walk issued this inning. And yeah, you know what? It's been a fun, interesting one to call on the broadcast, to say the least. This has been probably one of the more unique games that I've had the pleasure of being on the call for the majors. And this is almost like an exam in broadcasting and trying to pay attention to some of these plays going on. So, and you are right, that does look to be Zach Laird warming up in the majors bullpen. So we could see a pitching change in the next little bit.
We have kind of seen a little bit of everything today, haven't we?
Oh, it's been bonkers.
It has.
Thank you for tuning in, whether you're on CBL TV or Majors TV, and thanks for bearing with us through what's been what's a nice way to put this? I think we're at the point where we can call it a messy game so far. I think we can call it that. That one's well inside. Tank Gollert now in the box, the right-handed batter. Eduardo Diolio going to make his way out. The pitching coach, Victor Payano, making his way out as well to talk to his pitcher, Dusty Davidson. But yeah, we've seen some miscommunications early on. We've seen some questionable decisions from the managerial side in terms of taking pitchers out after just one batter. We've seen that misplay that we only just saw with the majors players not paying as much attention as they should have, and it costing them a run. It's really turned into a bit of a mess late in the game. Obviously, we're on the call for all these majors games, but you gotta be willing to admit when a game has gotten a little bit out of hand on the defensive and just the general baseball IQ side in this one.
We've kind of seen every kind of up and down in this one as well. From the offensive production we saw earlier from London to the kind of the aggression we've kind of seen from them the last couple of innings, and all the mistakes both on and kind of off the field. Obviously, I will admit it's a tough one for Rup Chanderdat to make. It is a tough call. Maybe unaware of the kind of rule that was on it. Again, we still don't know the exact rule of it, so we're still trying to figure that out.
So that one's driven to center, but not too deep. Jarrett Burney, the center fielder, able to make the play, and the majors now get out of what was another tough inning, to say the least. And for everything we've said about some of these misplays, these interesting calls back and forth, you do have to give some props to the Guelph Royals offense as well. They've been really showing just how good of contact hitters they are. Started the game a little rough when it came to runners in scoring position, but have really started to turn things around, just cashing in on a lot of these majors mistakes. Obviously, looking at the scoreboard, 4 majors errors. On the hits column, it's still pretty close. The Guelph Royals just out hitting the majors 10-9, but that score column is leaving a lot to be desired if you're the majors. Rup Chanderdat obviously coming out to have a quick conversation with the home plate umpire BJ Small about some of the back and forth that's been going on. Obviously, not many players, coaches will be too pleased with the couple innings that we've seen so far. Luckily, no tensions have really mounted, I would say. Particularly, I think, because if you're at the majors right now, you kind of have to admit that it has been a messy tail end to this ballgame.
It has, and you still have to give your credit to the Guelph Royals. They've really turned this ballgame around. What was once a 4-1 ballgame in favor of the London Majors has turned into this kind of offensive showing from the Royals, not to mention the defensive and pitching side of it as well. They have been really strong since their bullpen has come into this ball game. Both Pineda and now Case really showing their efforts. But again, the one thing you kind of forget about when thinking about the other team is the talent they have as well. As we mentioned, they have 6 All-Stars going to Chatham tomorrow as well. 4 of them were in this starting lineup, so obviously it's difficult to kind of see what is happening in this game if you are London, and so late into this ball game as well. But it's one of those games that you have to look back on and try and regroup. You have now the weekend off. Give yourself a little time to rest. Go into Tuesday. And you just have to try and clean up all these mistakes that you're making tonight.
You're 100% right, but still a little bit of ball game left. Christian Anoa, the right-handed batter, in the box. as that one's hit hard and hit deep over towards left field. It is well over the fence. And what a way to try to shift things back in your favor by going for the long ball. A nice home run off the bat of Christian and Noah.
Well, there you go. That is exactly how you get things rolling again. That's home run number 7 for Christian Noah on the season. Right into the trees and out into the Thames River to make this a 3-run ball game. But that's exactly what you need from this London offense. You need just some sort of spark to come from one of your big guys. Once you have that, you can get your confidence back, especially with the heart of the order that we're in. That was only the 3-hitter. We still have Starling Joseph, who's really swung the bat well today. Eduardo Diolio, who has really swung the bat well today as well, who's 2 for 3. You just need to try and get the confidence back. If you're able to come back into this game, that is going to be big for you. If you're not, obviously you need to look back at what has happened.
First pitch to Starling Joseph, a pitch called strike on the outer part of the plate. Next one downstairs. So, you know, all said and done, if I can be the guy to throw a little bit of optimism into what's been a very interesting game, of the matches so far today, that one's fouled down the left side, this Guelph Royals London Majors game is the closest so far across all these Friday games. Looking out of town, the Hamilton Cardinals are beating the Maple Leafs 11-0. The Kitchener Panthers are beating the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers 8-2. Barrie is beating Brantford 11-3. So this is the closest ball game of the day so far, even if it hasn't seemed like it at times. So that one swung on and missed. Starling Joseph strikes out. First out here in the bottom of the 8th. But all said and done, everything that we've been through in this edition of London Majors Baseball, it's still a 3-run ball game. These two teams are tied at 10 hits apiece. Anything can happen, especially here in 2026 in the CBL. We've seen some comebacks, and that is what the London Majors are itching for here. That one a called strike on the outer part of the zone. Had to inject a little bit of optimism, you know?
I mean, it's...
That one swung on, hit hard, but over the glove of the shortstop. It tripped its way into the outfield grass in center. So a bit of a funky hop for the shortstop Gilbert, and Eduardo Diolio finds his way on base.
His 3rd single of the day. That makes him 3 for 4. Again, that kind of brings you a little bit more optimism now. You're starting to get the hits going. You're getting your bat to ball consistently. If you're able to get these runners on base, you kind of now start to lead into your more small ball approach that we've seen from this Majors team time and time again. We know how versatile they can be in any kind of approach, and as long as you can get another runner on base before you get the second out of this inning, that'll be really big for you if you're London.
That pitch inside to Tucker Zadunic, a 1-1 count with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Decent matchup for Zadunic in the box. Better numbers against right-handed batters, a 319 average versus a 286. So this is the matchup that he'd love to capitalize on. It's that one well down and inside. So anything can happen. The hometown crowd still pretty involved. Still a whole lot of cheers back and forth. Looks like we're gonna have a bit of a visit on the mound.
Is that the trainer coming out as well?
It looks like it. I believe you are right. So looks like they might have seen something in his delivery. Might have reached for his hand a little bit. Looks like everything's okay. They love these hometown fans here at Labatt Memorial Park, enduring and having fun through this kind of funky Friday game at Labatt. Seeing some movement on both sides in terms of the bullpen. Pitchers warming up in both directions, depending on how the rest of this game starts shaping up. Zadunic swings at that one, fouls it off. It's about 9:45 right now here in London, Ontario. Sun is well down, but the lights are on as we really start shifting towards night, as that one swung on. Well hit, but foul. And again, the bright spot here is the temperature in London, Ontario was really cooled down. All the players will appreciate it compared to the 40, 45-degree days with the humidity involved. I know we'll take it up here in the broadcast booth as well. Majors on the field looking for some heat of their own, though. Down 8-5. Zadunic swings at that one, pops it up. A few people making their way for it. The third baseman, Nadal, will make his way over, make the grab to get the second out.
Yeah, so another big out there from the Guelph Royals. Now 1 out away from getting out of this inning and getting into the very important 9th. As Andrew Case is still dealing here in this one.
Andrew Case has been pretty sharp, really filling up the strike zone as well, but moving the pitches when he has to. Really keeping these Majors batters on their toes. Adam Thuss now in the box. First pitch out of the zone for ball 1. So Eduardo Diolio over at first. A big loud homer off the bat of Christian Anoa to get the inning going. So that one's in there, called strike.
It looks to be possibly Kevin Astoria in the bullpen for the Guelph Royals. Zach Laird for the London Majors. So 2 lefties warming up in their respective bullpens.
So Escorcia warming up over there. Potentially going to see him in this one, depending on how Case is doing, but Case has been doing pretty well on the mound so far. Count now 2-1 on Thuss with 2 outs. That one swung on, fouled back towards the netting. Evening things up at 2-2. Adam Thuss has come in pretty clutch over the past few weeks. Some good sacrifice flies like we saw earlier in this game. Some big home runs like we've seen in the past. Not the tying run, but would love to make this a 1-run ball game if he can really club one up. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled back again. A pretty good at-bat for him. Good attempt by Ward to try and convince the home plate umpire that he caught it, but definitely went off the grandstand here at Labatt Memorial Park. I like the thought, though.
Looked like he tried framing it for a strike there.
Imagine. So still some fun being had here in London, Ontario as well between the two squads. Count 2-2, 2 outs. That one down inside. Good at-bat from Thuss to force a full count. So full count, 2 outs. Eduardo Diolio will be running on the play. If Thuss is able to get on, Xavier Whittle would be next, followed by Jarrett Burney, and then top of the order from there. And that one a pretty delayed called strike 3 there. So Adam Thuss sat down, the 3rd out of the inning, and we'll get ready to shift our way over to the top of the 9th. Again, the Guelph Royals still leading by a score of 8-5 against the London Majors. We are going to take a quick commercial break, though, as we get ready to change innings. And you're watching the Guelph Royals taking on the London Majors right here on Majors TV.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza. Using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice and a pop for just $5 or 2 for $9. Ellie's Pizzeria, made local, made right.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
Hockey isn't a game, it's a legacy. VMF Sportswear builds custom pro-level jerseys, socks, and apparel, like team hoodies and workout wear. Your colors, your crest, your identity. Create yours now.
Welcome back to Labatt Memorial Park. The Guelph Royals still leading the London Majors by a score of 8-5. And we are going to have a pitching change for the London Majors as well.
Yes, we are. Zach Laird is coming into this ball game. You see the numbers there. A big strikeout guy and 16 1/3 innings pitched. A ERA just north of 5. So he will try and keep these Guelph bats at bay, down 3 here in the 9th, and a bit more into the numbers. 16 1/3 innings pitched through 12 games. Has given up 10 earned runs for that 5.5 ERA, as well as a 1.53 whip from him.
One stat that can't really be categorized is passion. Zach Laird, always one of the most passionate players on this Majors squad. See him get a little vocal at times, see him get a little physical at times. Always having a good bunch of fun out there, though. Big swing and a miss. That's from J.D. Williams, who's in the box to kick off the top of the 9th.
Really starting us off hot here in the 9th inning. A fastball basically right down the middle from Zach Laird.
That one's in there, inner part of the plate. Strike 2. Yeah, Zach Laird, obviously one of the hard-throwing lefties on this Majors squad. Some really, really good velocity, some great pop from that arm. Very efficient delivery is what he attributes to all that high velo. That one's upstairs. I like that pitch mix. Try and get Williams to swing out of the zone on a high fastball. Sometimes those can be a pretty tempting pitch, depending on where it's located. So Laird set on the mound, the 1-2 pitch. Looks for a breaking one there, evening things at 2-2 as it drifts down out of the zone.
So what you need from Zach Laird if you're London, just to try and keep this inning clean, get to the bottom of the 9th, and you'll have Whittle, Bernie, and Escato up, unless there is a change made from Rup Chanderdat before that.
Anything could happen, so we're late in the game, but still plenty of baseball left. The payoff pitch swung on and missed. Zach Laird gets the inning going with quite the strikeout. What an effort from him as he comes into this game.
Yeah, and a big one right there, obviously. What you were talking about, the passion Zach Laird has, you can not only see it in the way that he goes through the game, but just the pitches he's able to throw, how much force he's able to put in.
Yes, we saw those question marks too up here in the booth. Always a ton of fun in here on the broadcast. So 1 out now, a 1-0 count here, top of the 9th. Davis Nadal in the box. Struck out 3 times in the ball game. Got on base once back in the 7th as well. So that one's a called strike.
Tried to keep my cool through that. That was confusing to look at, but
I can be a little giggly at times, depending on when things happen.
yeah,
so
you're what actually gets me on something like that. I'm actually able to kind of focus in on it, but I see you squirming around, and
I have to physically get out the giggles so I don't actually giggle. But I can understand how that can be a little distracting for you as the partner up here.
It's
in
tough
the booth
working with you. It's so tough working with you.
So 2-1 count now, 1 out here, top of the 9th, as that one's swung on sky high, though. Escato drifting towards the outfield, makes the easy play. So Zach Laird been fairly efficient so far. 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah, Laird's been able to keep this clean so far through his first 2 hitters. Now he's got Matthew Ward to come up here, who doesn't have a hit yet in this ball game. He's looking to try and keep this 9th alive. Again, this is still a close game here. It is only 3 runs. You still have a good bit of your order to come up for London. And Whittle, Bernie, and Escato, all who have kind of been a little off this game. Only 2 hits combined for the 3 of them.
I guess saying a little off has been the general theme of this game so far. It's that pitch in there for a called strike, evening things at 1-1. And early on, we predicted that this was really going to be a display of small ball versus long ball. The majors have really demonstrated that. Quite a few home runs in this ball game. But the Royals' tenacity when it comes to the small ball has really been coming into play, as that one's hit hard, but not too deep to center. So Zach Laird gets out of the inning pretty quickly in efficient fashion. 3 up, 3 down, no damage done. Exactly what he needed to do. And the majors are down to their last opportunities here. Bottom of the 9th, down 8-5. Zach Laird did what he had to on the pitching side. Now the offense needs to contribute a bit more as well if they want to come out with the win.
Yeah, this is the point where your offense really needs a spark going for it. It'll be interesting to see who is pitching this 9th inning. We're kind of unsure at the moment. There's nobody coming out to the mound right now, so we're not sure who will get the save opportunity here for the Guelph Royals. As you see, Whittle, Bernie, and Escato due up. Whittle, who is 1 for 3. Bernie, who is 1 for 3. Escato, who is 0 for 4 today with 2 strikeouts.
So each of those batters would love to turn things around, would love to send this crowd home happy, potentially in walk-off fashion if they could, but they would take a tie to force extras, to say the least, as well. The crowd's starting to get into it. Anything can happen here in the 2026 CBL season. The majors looking for some hometown heroics if they can off what's been a very tenacious Guelph Royals squad so far. Again, we've talked about some of the misplays, some of the tough spots back and forth, but you do have to give a lot of credit to just how well the Royals have done on arguably the pitching and more so the offensive side. The pitching, especially early on, especially when you're looking at Liam Watt, who's not hit around too hard in some cases, and a lot of it, I wouldn't say really comes down to him. It was just the majors were doing what they could with the pitches they got, but still fairly efficient effort from him so far, and it's just been trickled down ever since, from Levin Pineda to Andrew Case, and now another pitching change here as well.
Yes, it is Kevin Astorcia coming into this ball game. The 6'1" left-hander came in 14 games this season for 15 innings pitched. He's got a 6.6 ERA and 2 saves on the year. His last appearance coming on Wednesday, he pitched an inning, gave up a run in the loss to the Welland Jackfish. He faced 6 batters, gave up 3 hits and a walk, not to mention a strikeout as well. So looking at his numbers, I'm seeing a lot of zeros on this board, which is very good, especially for a closing pitcher of Astorcia's kind of repertoire.
The Royals looking to capitalize on these right-handed batters if they can, as well as Xavier Whittle, the first up. Again, we're really coming down to the do-or-die situation late in this one. Bottom of the 9th. The majors out hitting the Royals 11-10, but the scorecard not quite reading the same. The Royals up 8-5. So a bit of ground to make up if you are the majors. But we talk time and time again about the potential from the top to the bottom of this lineup. The 2-0 pitch swung on, driven over towards left field. Not terribly deep, though. Koehler able to make the play fairly easy over there for the first out.
Well, nice and quick getting the first out here is Escorcia, and it was a good pitch there. Whittle kind of got off kind of the handle of his bat, just kind of sent it straight up in the air.
Yeah, a tad bit early and a tad underneath it. Essentially launched that one up like he did. Jarrett Burney now in the box. Center fielder for the Majors, takes the first pitch strike. So a tough one for the Majors. We've described it a few times as being a bit messy, to say the least. I think is the nicest way that we can really put it up here. That pitch catches the inner corner for a called strike.
Some fans not happy about that call.
It's a pretty close one, to say the least. Could really, one of those pitches that could go in kind of either direction. You can't argue with it too much as Burney protects the strike zone, fouls that one off.
And I mean, we've seen a lot of those tonight and just throughout the season. You get so close. It's so hard to tell those kinds of pitches. Obviously, we don't have an ABS challenge system here in the CBL, maybe just yet. We don't know about the future, of course. However, we don't have it at the moment, so those ones are very 50-50 calls.
0-2 pitch well inside, making it a 1-2 count. Yeah, obviously in the CBL, a little hard to integrate an ABS system like we're seeing in Major League Baseball, just given the budgets from team to team in terms of the broadcasts and making that uniform across all the teams. The umpiring staff doing fairly well, to say the least, across the 2026 season. Count now 2-2 on Jarrett Burney, the center fielder in the box.
The umpiring has actually been really good this season, at least here from what I've seen. I haven't seen anywhere else, but
well, you know, it's never going to be perfect. Obviously, umpiring to umpire is to be human, to say the least. As that one's again well inside. Jarrett Burney forcing the full count here. But I always say as often as I can that it's about being consistent, sometimes more than it is being accurate for the umpires. As long as your strike zone, at least in my opinion, can be a little inside, a little outside, a little big, a little small, but as long as it is consistent between all the batters, that is what I care about. As Jarrett Burney pops that one over towards right. A nice little piece of hitting from him to find the gap between first and second. And with one out, the Majors trying to find some life, their first base runner in the ninth. And that'll turn things back to the top of the order with Michael Escato.
So just a little sliver of hope here in the ninth for the Majors, and one of your best hitters who has been kind of on a downhill swing tonight is looking to get on base for his first time.
First pitch to him, inside, well inside. Escato having to dance around the ball there, but it looks like he avoided it for ball one. I do think if you are the Majors, you need to treat these at-bats like Jarrett Burney just did. Just find a way to find a gap. The Majors have really flexed their home run power in this ball game, but small ball has been winning the day for the Royals, and I think that's what you got to try and tap into to try and force a win here. Trust the man behind you. Just find a way to get on base any way you can and just keep the momentum going and going and going until finally something snaps in your favor.
No, and you're 100% correct about that. You see the kind of way that that small ball baseball can be played, and obviously all these guys have already played it this year.
So that pitch catches the inner part of the plate. Escato not happy with the call. He'll take a walk away from the home plate for a quick second to collect himself.
And you've had the recent success with more of the power in your swing, but of course it's going to be different every time you play the game, and especially with the different ballparks you're at, or the different, the weather is going to be different, the pitching is going to be different, everything is going to be different about every single different game, and you have to try and find one thing that works in order to succeed. We saw the power kind of working earlier on, but as it's gotten later, the temperatures dropped a little bit. That has not been the same effect.
1-2 pitch again, well inside. Escorcia really focusing more inward on these majors, right-handed bats in particular. Trying to find exactly where that line is, but the majors showing a good bit of plate discipline to try and force some counts back in their favor. Now 2-2 with 1 out. Again, Jared Burney over at first. The 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3 call. Looks like he fouled that one back into the catcher's glove for a strikeout. And suddenly the London Majors are down to their final out. Trent Lenahan hoping to breathe a bit of life as this game really starts to get into its adolescence.
Yeah, big moment here for Trent Lenahan. You have Michael Escado going down on strikes again, so his 3rd time tonight.
Jared Burney darts his way over towards second, but no attempt there. He'll just trot his way over towards second, and the Majors have a runner in scoring position, but with a 3-run gap to make up, still a bit of work to do. Count now 0-1. Pitch to Lenahan, swung on, fouled down the right side, well high, but well out. And I'll turn into a nice souvenir for one of the fans here at Labatt Memorial Park. So the Majors looking for a pretty solid rally if they can force it. Runner in scoring position, the big power bat of Trent Lenahan. Next pitch well upstairs, ball 1. And all said and done, the Majors are out hitting the Royals 12-10, but it is those 4 errors, those miscommunications that have really cost them in this one. Some messy plays, tough defense as well. That's really bit them a bit here as Trent Lenahan grounds that one over towards the second baseman. A routine throw over towards first. And that'll do it here in this one. The Guelph Royals will take it in enemy territory 8-5. A tough effort to say the least. Again, you got to give some shout outs to the Guelph Royals offense. We were talking about the long ball versus the small ball, and today in particular, the small ball took the day.
It did, and you saw it from about the 6th inning on. You saw the Guelph Royals really starting to get into their game and into their own rhythm, especially with their kind of small ball approach to the game. That's what really kind of struck the Majors in the wrong way, and what kind of helped the Royals kind of feed off of these Majors' mistakes, and that's what kind of helped them win this ball game eventually, and especially with the defense and the pitching as well from them as well. Every part of their game very strong today. Really kind of won up the Majors here with their power surge as of late, really showing how the small ball can kind of contribute to wins. This is going to be really big for the Guelph Royals going into this weekend. Look for the Majors to kind of regroup and kind of try and find their rhythm again, start going into next week.
So it'll be a very, very interesting weekend to say the least. We'll see how the Majors respond to a game like this. Obviously had their power flashes here and there. I believe 3 solo shots in this one from across the lineup. But yeah, it was just that consistency that really bit them. Some tough managerial decisions, giving away runs, not paying attention at times to what's going on around them on the base paths, giving runs up that way. And just the Royals capitalizing on especially the starting pitching. Travis Keys, well known for pounding the strike zone, getting some soft contact, and the Guelph Royals just able to get those balls pretty much exactly where they needed to dodge these defenders in the field, and that was the big difference maker. I think it was just a bit of a messy one for the Majors, a bit inconsistent to say the least, and the Guelph Royals just ruled the day.
Yeah, and it was a great opening from Travis Keys as well. He only gave up 1 run to the first 5 or 6 innings, and then came that 4th-run 6th inning, which just kind of moved everything around. Obviously, unfortunate for the Majors and Travis Keys, and of course, the kind of managerial error is kind of the term you want to use for what Rup Chanderdat chose to do, taking Caleb Casey out of the ballgame in for Dusty Davidson, which brought in the, I believe, 6th run of the ballgame, which was the deciding run of this one as well. So definitely some mistakes you need to learn from and kind of find solutions to for the second half of this season, and now going into the All-Star break is a great rest for the majors going into this one, and then going into Tuesday in Brantford, trying to regroup, get back in the win column there.
So teams across the board will have a little bit of a break coming up this weekend. Like Owen just mentioned, it's All-Star Weekend across the CBL. Be sure to check out some of the broadcasts, the feeds if you can, over in Chatham, Kent. The Barnstormers hosting All-Star Weekend. Skills competitions tomorrow. The big All-Star game coming up on Sunday as well. Should be a lot of fun if you can. Be sure to tune in or just head to the ballpark as well. You might catch some of us there as well. In any case, Guelph Royals take this one 8-5. Majors get a little bit of a break. And thank you so much for tuning in in what was a very interesting ball game here in London, Ontario. On behalf of all of us on Majors TV, I'm Justin Koehler. I was joined by Owen Taylor, Evan Fredrickson down on field level. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you at the next one here on Majors TV.